bespoke radio for the masses.
Headline edition, July 8, 1947. The Army Air Forces has announced that a flying disc has been found and is now in the possession of the Army.
If the game is rigged, change the game.
Game changer.
I occasionally think how quickly our differences worldwide would vanish if we were facing an alien threat from outside this world.
This is Fade to Black with your host, Jimmy Church, on the Game Changer Radio Network and KGRA, the Global Radio Alliance.
I need your help to get to the year 1985.
You're listening to Fade to Black with Jimmy Church on the Game Changer Network.
Good evening. Fade to Black. Bespoke radio for the masses. Yeah, man. Tonight, it's Thursday, August 31st. 242 days into the new year, just 123 days left. We are live from a bunker somewhere in downtown Burbank, California. And I would like to welcome everybody listening all around the world, all across the United States, hither and thither, to and fro, back and forth, up and down, east and west, north and south, far and near. This is Fade to Black for KJCR, the Game Changer Network, and KGRA, the planets. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. What is cracking, everybody? Let's do it. It's Thursday. You know, thought by many to be the greatest night of the week here on Fade to Black. Kind of hard to argue with that. Because tonight, it's another Fadernight with Jon Rappoport and his No More Fake Newsroom Live. And then, of course, it's followed by open lines all night long. The call-in numbers are 323-825-5045 or 323-275-9695. You can follow me on Twitter at JChurchRadio. Facebook, YouTube, you know what to do. Head over to the website, click on those three little buttons right there. Follow, like, and subscribe. You know, I don't do this often. I have no clue how many, believe it or not, I don't know how many subscribers there are on Spreaker. I don't know. And I was talking to one of the networks earlier this week, and they want to get something going. This is a new network. This is in addition to, and it's big, right? And so I'm talking to, they contacted us and said, our VP of programming would like to set up a phone call and would like to. And I said, look, what is it that you want? Well, anyway, so as we started talking, they were asking me, and by the way, yeah, we will have that conversation next week. It's pretty interesting. It's just another extension onto the World Wide Web. But it's pretty cool. It's big. It's corporate. You know, it's not paranormal or anything like that or UFO related. It isn't one of those networks. It's a big corporate conglomerate thing. But anyway, so they started asking. So how many followers do you have here? How many do you have here? What are you doing here, and here? I was like, you know what? I don't know. I haven't checked in so long. Now, is that a bad thing? Not really knowing what's going on out there with TuneIn or iHeartRadio. I mean, I haven't had a conversation with Race about numbers for 2 years, probably. You know, everybody just, we let them do their own thing, and we do ours, and we work together, but I just never really talk numbers. I know basic things, but I don't go and look. So I just kind of bounced around. I have no idea how many subscribers are on Spreaker, for instance. I don't know, right? Once in a while, I'll check YouTube and kind of check, but how many? I don't know. I don't know what's going on with TuneIn. I have no idea what the numbers are with TalkStream Live. I don't know. I don't go and look, and I don't ask. And is that strange? Twitter, because we use it every day, I kind of have a rough guesstimate, somewhere between 10,000, 12,000, 13,000 followers, something like that. And let me click here. So Twitter today is 15.5 thousand followers on Twitter. It's okay. But I have no idea what the numbers are. Isn't that interesting? And I was just kind of caught. And they were tripping out a little bit like, you don't know what's going on? Honestly, no. All I know is our audience is great. We love them. Our sponsors love the show because our audience supports them. So therefore, there are numbers that are supporting everything coming from somewhere. That's all I know. Well, how many views have you had on YouTube? Don't know. You can check. I don't know. Isn't that bizarre? I have no idea how many listens or things on Spreaker or any of those. I don't know. And I was almost a little bit embarrassed. So I started to bounce around a little bit and checked, and I got bored. And just came back to doing what we're doing. All I can say is that's why I posted that pic out on Twitter a few minutes ago, toasting to all of you. You guys are the absolute best. And for me to be in a position like that where I go, you know what, I don't know, but it's all good. It's all because of you. And so that's what that toast was for. I love all of you guys. Where is that pic? I want to look at it again. Yeah, there it is. That's what I'm talking about right there. All right. It's Thursday night. I'm in the chair. We're going to be doing phone calls all night long tonight. It is my favorite night of the week. We've had just an amazing week on the show, and last week, the week before, all great. And even over at Coast, I get, when I do Friday nights on Coast, Saturdays are cool, Sundays are cool. That's all, it's fun. It really is. But there is nothing like open lines. I'm the kind of guy that I'm the opposite of most people. I go to a party and I mingle. I talk. Hopefully I'm going to talk to somebody I've never met before. And I work the room. I just enjoy being around people. And for me, it's the same thing. On open lines, taking a first-time caller is my absolute favorite thing. Well, and then there's, of course, Steve from Bluefield. but I mean that. It is just awesome. It's just a total fresh conversation of discovery. Boom. Just like that. And you just never know. It's talk about rolling the dice. You never know what a Thursday is going to bring. And you don't know what phone call is going to come in and what great experience or story or sighting or friend that I'm going to make that night on the air. It's what Thursday nights are all about. So anyway, follow me on Twitter at JChurchRadio. Speaking of that, at JChurchRadio, hashtag F2B is the sandbox where everybody hangs out, and everybody apparently is hanging out now. Oh, okay. So now everybody's giving me reports on numbers here. I don't want to. That's not what I was asking about. Don't care. I don't care. I don't care. I don't like looking at numbers. I don't want to chase numbers. I don't want to go, man, we've got to figure out a way to get more of this. If think about that. Well, my day would be just wasted thinking about things like, no, the show will grow on its own organically because the show is cool, the audience is cool, and the word of the mouth on the street, that thing is what has built this show. Do you know, we have a lot of new listeners right now. Let me say something. We have never advertised. Think about that for a second. We have never advertised. Never paid for an ad. Never advertised. everything from the very first word go was one listener telling another listener or a friend, hey, go check out this show. That's everything that has been built because of you. We have never advertised. We've never taken investment money. We've started it on our own dime and rode this thing through. Think about that. That's trippy, isn't it? It's the exact opposite. Somebody starts a business, a company, an idea, an app, a show, something. Okay, now let's go get investors. We have an idea. That's not the way we did this here. Oh, no. Never did it. Never took a dime from anybody. Think about that for a second. It's the exact opposite of Business 101, the way people think. And we just didn't want to, A, give away control, but B, we didn't want to be in debt. No. And now, today, things are good, and we have, it's all a complete pizza pie. It's got all the ingredients of success, but we own everything, and we don't answer to anybody. It's talk about finding your bliss. No stress. The stress that we have around here, the stress is the fun stuff. Booking guests, working on artwork, answering email, social media, editing videos, editing audio. That's what we spend our days doing, but we don't stress out on avoiding phone calls from somebody that gave us money and they want to bring on their best friend on the show. Whatever. We don't deal with any of that. All right. You can email throughout the show tonight, Jimmy at Jimmy Church Radio. I'm in a great mood. Can you tell? Jimmy at jimmychurchradio.com. It is Labor Day weekend, and I want everybody out there to absolutely blaze through the weekend. Have a great time. Hopefully you're getting a day off or 2 or 3, and you have the opportunity to spend it with friends and family and maybe cook some fantastic meal, get plastered in the backyard, do whatever you want to do this weekend, but just be safe doing it and have fun. We are. I can assure you of that. We have earned it. This is the first weekend off we have had in as long as I can remember. I cannot remember the last weekend that we have had off. I don't know. Oh, my goodness gracious. I don't know. I don't know when that was. Now, for those Fadernauts that were hanging out in the little pre-show, by the way, we do 5 minutes of pre-show here with the bunker cam every night. You may not know that, and unless you're a Fadernaut, I talk about this bunker cam. That's one thing, but I do a little pre-show conversation 5 minutes before the show with everybody. Bet you didn't know that, did you? And there are Fadernauts out there that weren't telling you that either. It's their own little secret. It's a secret no more. So I hang out. And one of the things before the show tonight, our thoughts are with everybody in Texas and Louisiana and where this has been going down for the last week. It's been absolutely horrific. I can't imagine what it's like waking up and then having nothing. But we're coming together. It may not seem that way now, but it's what we do. Okay, we just buckle up and get it done. I've been through my own natural disasters, but it's not just Houston. Mumbai, Ontario, Macau, Niger, Hong Kong, Istanbul, Ireland, and Sierra Leone, and others are all flooded right now. Different points of the globe, right? It's not just Houston. It's incredible what is going on around the world. I had just posted yesterday over in Facebook, and I mean this. I posted this over in Facebook. Bangladesh, India, right? Nepal, right now, 1,200 people have died. There's a monsoon over there. It is some of the worst monsoon rains in history have just gone down there. 41 million people affected, right? It's crazy. So yes, it's Houston, but it's the rest of the world too. And sometimes we have our blinders on in this country, and And thankfully, in its own weird way, it has caused us to come together and get focus off of some other dark things that are going on, not only inside of this country, but around the world. And we have to look at each other and realize that we are all just earthlings. And I don't want to sound like some new agey dude from 1974, right? No, with the pyramid over my bed. I don't want to sound like that, but it's really the truth. It's really the truth. So, okay, let's escape a little bit tonight, and we'll be taking phone calls all night long. Don't forget to subscribe to our podcast. We have over 700 archive shows over there. Custom apps, Apple, Android, all platforms, just $2 per month. Just go over to jimmychurchradio.com and click there and go to the stores that you need to buy the apps or get the apps. The apps are free. And then subscribe, just $2 a month. Or you can become a Fadernight. Hang on. Quick cough. Over in our membership section on the site, you get the bunker cam that I was just talking about. Commercial-free downloadable archives. Everything is updated every single day, just like the podcast. And if you get the Game Changer, you'll get all of that Fade to Black gear, autographed hats and shirts and stuff like that. Oh, a little note, cleaning up. Over the last week or so, we've been doing a lot of shipping because of a few things that have that we were busy with. One with the water heater in our kitchen being taken apart, and contractors and drying out, and plumbers and all of that, and no water over at our house for almost 2 weeks. That and some other things. We got a little bit backed up, and one day turned into a week, turned into a month, and the next thing you know, we got a little bit behind. So we've been shipping over the last week. And today, I think the last of the shipments went out. And then, so it doesn't matter if you had T-shirts or hats or things. I think we're all caught up, except today we ran out of all things, 4X T-shirts. I'm like, how is that possible? And I see this ebb and flow of runs on T-shirts. Some weeks we go through mediums or we go through large or extra. I don't get it. All of a sudden, this last 3 weeks, it's been 4X T-shirts. We went up to the eclipse. I sold out on 4X T-shirts. Wait a minute here. Everybody wanted mediums and smalls. And so anyway, everything went out except for those. And I think a couple of... we'll get those 4Xs out next week. If you're waiting on 4X, those will be done and in the mail to you next week. And again, and I'm only bringing this up because the Fadernauts are so important. And we have a great shipping company that deals with everything. But I try to, because I sign everything, and I just want to make sure that everything is there. And I want everybody to be happy and to enjoy. You've supported the show, and you deserve your stuff in a timely fashion. And so there you go. Okay, I think we are almost there, except for 4Xs. And I just couldn't believe it. I could not believe it. But anyway, a few days off from that. Do go to all of our sponsors, Life Change Tea, GetTheTea.com, River Moon Coffee, New Pharma, Ancient Life Oil, Sacred Skulls, and Studio Dome Speakers. All of these sponsors have been with us for a long time. Sacred Skulls being the newest, of course. But the interaction that you guys have with all of these companies, they know what Fade to Black is, and they know who the Fadernauts are. And they know when you are ordering from them, and they know what is going on, and they really appreciate your business because that turns around and reflects directly back on us. And this is all just a family. So thank you for supporting all of our sponsors. All of the banners are over at jimmychurchradio.com. With that, let's get this show cracking. Happy birthday today to comedian. I can't believe that just came out of my mouth because wait till you hear what... okay, I'll just say it. Chris Tucker today is 46. And was he better in Barbershop or The Fifth Element? I'm going to see where everybody's butter is breaded right now. What was he better in, Barbershop or The Fifth Element? Also today, Van Morrison is 72. Also today, Debbie Gibson. Yeah, I said it. Debbie Gibson today is 47. And I'm going to say this before you say anything. Only in My Dreams still rocks. That song rocks. And Lost in Your Eyes is one of the great 80s ballads of all time. And the 80s was full of ballads. It was a ballad decade. And Lost in Your Eyes is just incredible. So there you go. I said it. Debbie Gibson today is 47. I was the heavy metal rocker, man, in the 80s. And I loved my rock and roll. And only in my dreams that it would come on the radio or MTV or whatever. I think I even had the DVD or the CD, but or the tape, the cassette. And that song just grabbed me. It was just so well written, and it turns out she was the producer and she was the writer. She won Producer of the Year awards. Think about that. She was the first singer. I'm going on. I know way too much about Debbie Gibson right now, but she was the first singer. Listen to this. She was the first singer to have a #1 hit on Billboard that she wrote, produced, and performed. She probably engineered it too. Think about that. Debbie Gibson, right? Okay. All right. Enough about Debbie Gibson. On this day in history, OTD, 1985. I talk about this all the time. 1985. Richard Ramirez, the notorious Night Stalker, is captured and nearly beaten and killed by a mob, beaten to death by a mob right here in East Los Angeles, California. That was one of the craziest summers ever, craziest years, really. And just imagine that every day you're waking up wondering, and you wouldn't go out at night. Nobody would go out at night. The threat of the Night Stalker, it gripped Los Angeles, and they caught him, and they beat him down. He was happy to see the police show up. Think about that. All right. Fader fact. Steve Jobs. Now, this is a fader fact. Steve Jobs got a new Mercedes every 6 months because a car didn't need a license plate until it was 6 months old. That's right. And that is a Fader fact. Now, tonight's another Fader night with Jon Rappoport and No More Fake Newsroom Live. The call-in numbers are 323-825-5045 or 323-275-9695. And I've got a few minutes left, and I have I'm going to follow up on this throughout the show tonight. Oh, also, and that's about Yellowstone and NASA and their plan to defuse Yellowstone, right? To tap into it, to try to relieve the pressure in the caldera. Yellowstone, they don't want it to erupt. NASA. So I've got that, and now that I've kind of got that out of the way, if you get into the details of numerous articles that have popped up all over the net with NASA, it's not science, even though that's the way they're trying to. It's more like science fiction. It's seriously, if you think about any of the Bruce Willis movies of him landing on some remote asteroid, right? It's kind of like that. Is it possible? Well, no, it is not. So I've got that broken down here too. I mean, is it a volcanic threat? And there are other volcanoes right here in California, Oregon, Washington, that are serious threats. Those could blow at any time. Not so much with Yellowstone. And I've got some facts here, and I do want to get into that. Also, throughout the show tonight, this is what I want to do. I'm going to bring in Jon Rappoport here in a second. But throughout the show tonight, I have an entire list of crazy facts that you don't know if they are true or not. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, you're going to find out. And so as the phone calls come in, I'm going to do like a fact or fake. Is it BS or not? Right? And I don't know what I'm going to do with it. I don't know if you guys are smart enough to figure out through this. And if you are smart and you can figure some of these out, then do I give something away? Or let's go to the next level. What happens if I bust through 30 of these and everybody gets them right and shows me how smart you are? Does that mean I have to send out 30 books, 30 T-shirts, and what cost invest $1,000 into the Fadernight tonight? Well, you know what? I appreciate all of you. So let's play this one out. Have a good time tonight. It's going to be a great show. I'm looking forward to talking with all of you. Going back to this Yellowstone thing, I'm going to cover this throughout the show, and I'm going to give you pieces of this. But what NASA has up their sleeves is crazy. It's nuts. And the more that I think about it, and HAARP and technology and weather manipulation, and the fact that there may be technology out there to go and do things like drill 5 miles under the ground and get to the magma layer of Yellowstone and somehow fix that. The talk of it, this is one thing, but let me express something here very clearly. The size of what is down there is bigger than anything you have ever thought of in your life. It's not that simple. It is a crazy story. So with that, let's get out of here. Let's bring in Jon Rappoport and his No More Fake Newsroom Live. This is Fade to Black. It's Thursday night. It is Fadernight. Open lines all night long, 323-825-5045 or 323-275-9695. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. Follow me on Twitter at JChurchRadio. Email is jimmy@jimmychurchradio.com. On the Game Changer Network and KGRA, The Planet. We'll be right back with Jon Rappoport. Stay with us.
You're listening to Jimmy Church, Fade to Black.
Fade to Black will now pause for alien identification.
The station that talks the net. KGRA Radio. When you take the beans from Central America with dashes of Indonesian and African mixed in and then roast it to the dark side of Fade to Black, you create the ultimate brew of fringe. Introducing the Fade to Black blend from Rivermoon Coffee. Yes, Rivermoon's darkest customized roast was created for the love of Fade to Black. The alchemy of masterful roasting and smoking the beans is in every sip of this full-bodied dark Java. I need my coffee dark, deep, with distinct bittersweet chocolate highlights, just like the bunker. Leaning further into the darkness of the roast is Fade to Black blend from Rivermoon Coffee. Just click on the banner at jimmychurchradio.com and use the promo code F2BBLEND for 15% off of your order today. Go Beckley Teppy.
Hi, folks. Let's wind the clocks back 60 years. Food was different. Food provided health and nutrition, and using supplements was minimal. Unfortunately, now we have chemicals, GMOs, herbicides, and pesticides that can be quite lethal in the name of our food supply and, of course, the ever-loving dollar. Supplementing our diets can be very important to stay healthy. Cleansing from daily intruders to the body might be critical. Live strong and take charge. Log on to getthetea.com. Our herbal tea is a great way to cleanse from intruders. Our supplements is a great way to maintain and improve your health. When your health is not up to par, go to GetTheT.com. No GMOs, no fillers, and organic, and very helpful in keeping you at the top of your game. Life is too short to feel, you know what I mean. Stay in the game, at the top of your game with GetTheT.com. That's GetTheT.com. Again, GetTheT.com.
9 out of 10 geneticists agree.
Fade to Black is not your father's radio show on the Game Changer Radio Network and KGRA, The Planet.
Win big with KGRA this summer. Tickets and hotel accommodations to the biggest conferences, autographed books and DVDs, chances to win all-inclusive conference cruises, and private dinners with your favorite KGRA hosts. Click the contest tab at kgraradio.com for your chance to win big this summer. Your contact for the best alternative talk radio on the planet. kgraradio.com.
Hi, this is Rob Reiner from Anvil, and you're listening to JimmyChurchRadio.com.
What's up? I'm Chris. What up? This is Kyle Massey, and you're listening to Jimmy Church Radio.
And now, coming to you from the No More Fake News room in deep space, which is the space that we suspect to be true, that the world as it is fed to us every day by the Ministry of Truth is a lie, a false reality, a movie projected on the screen of our subconscious. This, however, is the breakout. All the screens crash, they all go down, and we see the light of day. A new day. No more androids, no more robots. It's the No More Fake News room with Jon Rappoport. Take it away, John.
Thank you, Jimmy. Thank you. Good to be here, folks. So, I put an article up at No More Fake News this week. Got lots of comments. Seems to have gotten out there quite a bit. So I want to read some sections from it to you. You can file this one under Forgotten History, Repressed History, the history you're not supposed to know. The headline on the article was Anthony Sutton, Skull and Bones, Hitler, the Bush Family. And I will read some sections and maybe make a few comments here. The prodigious author and researcher Anthony Sutton, 1925-2002, wrote about hidden men behind momentous events. I recently came across a 1999 interview with Sutton conducted by Chris Milligan, researcher and head of Trine Day Publishers. This is what Milligan wrote about Sutton in 1999. Anthony C. Sutton, 74, has been persecuted but never prosecuted for his research and subsequent publishing of his findings. His mainstream career was shattered by his devotion toward uncovering the truth. In 1968, his book, Western Technology and Soviet Economic Development, was published by the Hoover Institute at Stanford University. Sutton showed how the Soviet state's technological and manufacturing base, which was then engaged in supplying the North Vietnamese the armaments and supplies to kill and wound American soldiers, was built by U.S. firms and mostly paid for by the U.S. taxpayers. From their largest steel and iron plant to automobile manufacturing equipment to precision ball bearings and computers, basically the majority of the Soviets' large industrial enterprises had been built with the United States' help or technical assistance. Then someone sent Anthony a membership list of Skull and Bones and, quote, a picture jumped out. And what a picture. A multi-generational foreign-based secret society with fingers in all kinds of pies and roots going back to Illuminati influences in 1830s Germany. The implication there is that Sutton made connections between these U.S. enterprises that had built basically the Soviets' industrial enterprises and Skull and Bones. So, a few excerpts from the interview. Just scrolling down here, looking here. Did any of Hitler's economic policies threaten the interests of the international bankers, and if so, did that play a role in his downfall? And Sutton says, Hitler's economic policies were okayed by the bankers right through the war. ITT, Chase, Texaco, and others were operating in Nazi-held France as late as 1945. In fact, Chase in Paris was trying to acquire Nazi bank accounts, as late as 1944. When we got to Germany in May 1945, I remember seeing a bombed-out Woolworth store in Hamburg and thinking, what's Woolworth doing in Nazi Germany? While we were bombed and shelled, it was business as usual for big business. Union Banking Corporation is very important. And then Sutton goes on to describe how he made a documentary for Dutch national TV years ago, got all the way through the production process. At the last minute, it was pulled, never shown. And he says this documentary has proof of Bush financing Hitler, documents, etc. And you'll see links in my article at No More Fake News. Actually, somebody long after this interview was done, it did in fact post part 1 and part 2 of the Dutch TV special, which you can look at. So he goes on about the Dutch business, and Sutton says, I saw extracts from the original Dutch TV program, and it is a good professional job. They had documents linking Bush family and other Skull and Bones members to financing Hitler through Union Banking of New York and its Dutch correspondent bank. Getting the picture here. Now, here is a telling, that's all that I'll read from the interview. Here's a telling Anthony Sutton quote from his book, The Best Enemy Money Can Buy, 1986. By using data of Russian origin, it is possible to make an accurate analysis of the origins of this equipment. It was found that all the main diesel and steam turbine propulsion systems of the 96 Soviet ships on the Haiphong supply run to the North Vietnamese, that could be identified, that is 84 out of the 96, originated in design or construction outside the USSR. We can conclude, therefore, that if the U.S. State and Commerce Departments in the 1950s and 60s had consistently enforced the legislation passed by Congress in 1949, the Soviets would not have had the ability to supply the Vietnamese War, and 50,000 more Americans and countless Vietnamese would be alive today. Sutton goes on. Who were the government officials responsible for this transfer of known military technology? The concept originally came from National Security Advisor Henry Kissinger, who reportedly sold President Nixon on the idea, get this, that giving military technology to the Soviets would temper their global territorial ambitions. Temper as in put a damper on. Sutton says how Henry arrived at this gigantic non sequitur is not known. Sufficient to state that he aroused considerable concern over his motivations, not least that Henry had been a paid family employee of the Rockefellers since 1958 and has served as an International Advisory Committee chairman of the Chase Manhattan Bank, a Rockefeller concern. And then I write, if you think such traitorous actions could never have occurred, I point you to another researcher, Charles Higham, Higham, and his 1983 classic, Trading with the Enemy. Higham focuses on World War II. The men behind the curtain Higham exposed are in the same basic group that Anthony Sutton exposed. And here is a quote, devastating from Trading with the Enemy. What would have happened if millions of American and British people struggling with coupons and lines at the gas stations had learned that in 1942 Standard Oil of New Jersey, part of the Rockefeller Empire, managers shipped the enemy, Germany's fuel, through neutral Switzerland, and that the enemy, Germany, was shipping Allied fuel? Suppose the public had discovered that the Chase Bank in Nazi-occupied Paris after Pearl Harbor was doing millions of dollars worth of business with the enemy, Germany, with the full knowledge of the head office in Manhattan, the Rockefeller family among others, or that Ford trucks were being built for the German occupation troops in France with authorization from Dearborn, Michigan, or that Colonel Sosthenes Ben, the head of the International American Telephone and conglomerate ITT, flew from New York to Madrid to Bern in Switzerland during the war to help improve Hitler's communication systems and improve the robot bombs that devastated London, or that ITT built the Focke-Wulfs that dropped bombs on British and American troops, or that crucial ball bearings were shipped to Nazi-associated customers in Latin America with the collusion of the vice chairman of the U.S. War Production Board in partnership with Hermann Goering's cousin, one of Hitler's main lieutenants, in Philadelphia, when American forces were desperately short of these ball bearings, or that such arrangements were known about in Washington and either sanctioned or deliberately ignored. Yes, indeedy. And now if I can do this little switcheroo here, I will go to another article, similar, from No More Fake News last week, called Forgotten History, U.S. Bankers Financing U.S. Enemies and Why It's Important Now. And I reference a 1971 book which became a million or several million seller, Underground, by Gary Allen, called None Dare Call It Conspiracy. I recommend it highly. His thesis was stark. Super rich American capitalists were financing socialism. This bizarre paradox was resolved when socialism was properly understood, not as, quote, power to the people, but as elite power over the people. In other words, as a hoax. So now I quote from Chapter 6 of None Dare Call It Conspiracy, The Rockefellers and the Reds. And this is a comment on the period just after the Russian Communist Revolution of 1917. The Rockefellers assigned their public relations agent, Ivy Lee, to sell the American public the idea that the Bolsheviks were merely misunderstood idealists who were actually kind benefactors of mankind. Professor Anthony Sutton of Stanford University's Hoover Institution notes in his highly authoritative Western Technology and Soviet Economic Development, and now we're quoting Sutton again, quite predictably, Ivy Lee concludes that the communist problem is merely psychological. They're all right. He suggests the U.S. should not engage in propaganda, makes a plea for peaceful coexistence, etc., 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 and advance credit, give loans to the Russians. That's just the beginning of this nightmare. Sutton continues, after the Bolshevik Revolution, Standard Oil of New Jersey, Rockefeller, bought 50% of Nobel's huge Caucasus oil fields in the Soviet Union, even though the property had theoretically been nationalized by Russia. In 1927, Standard Oil of New York, Rockefeller, built a refinery in Russia, thereby helping the Bolsheviks put their economy back on its feet. This was the first United States investment in Russia since the revolution. Shortly thereafter, Standard Oil of New York and its subsidiary Vacuum Oil Company, Rockefeller, concluded a deal to market Soviet oil in European countries. And it was reported that a loan of $75 million to the Bolsheviks was arranged. Wherever Standard Oil would go, Chase National Bank was sure to follow. The Rockefellers' Chase Bank was later merged with the Warburg's Manhattan Bank to form the present Chase Manhattan Bank. In order to rescue the Bolsheviks, who were supposedly an archenemy, the Chase National Bank was instrumental in establishing the American-Russian Chamber of Commerce in 1922, etc., etc. Skipping down here. This ended up in being a complete program for financing Soviet raw material exports to the U.S. and imports of U.S. cotton and machinery. More about banking. The Soviet government has been given U.S. Treasury funds by the Federal Reserve Board and the Federal Reserve banks, acting through the Chase Bank and the Guarantee Trust Company and other banks in New York City. Open up the books of Amtorg, the trading organization of the Soviet government in New York, and of Gustorg, the general office of the Soviet Trade Organization, and of the State Bank of the Union of Soviet Socialist Republics, the USSR, and you will be staggered to see how much American money has been taken from the United States Treasury for the benefit of Russia. Find out what business has been transacted for the State Bank of Soviet Russia by its correspondent, the Chase Bank of New York, Rockefeller. That's out of the Congressional Record, June 15, 1933. According to Professor Sutton, there is a report in the State Department that names Kuhn, Loeb and Company, the long-established and important financial house in New York, as the financier of the Russians' first 5-year plan. That was a gigantic plan to rescue Russia as a result of the desolation that occurred after the Communist Revolution of 1917. Professor Sutton, and now this is quoting Gary Allen again in None Dare Call It Conspiracy, Professor Sutton proves conclusively in his 3-volume history of Soviet technological development that the Soviet Union was almost literally manufactured by the USA. Sutton shows that there is hardly a segment of the Soviet economy which is not a result of the transfer of Western, particularly American, technology. And I'll quote one more piece here. This cannot be wholly the result of accident. For 50 years, the Federal Reserve, Council on Foreign Relations, Rockefeller insider crowd has advocated and carried out policies aimed at increasing the power of their satellite, the Soviet Union. Meanwhile, America spends $75 billion a year on defense to protect itself from the enemy the insiders are building up. That was written in 1971. So you can see the idea here is to make profit from both sides, war on both sides, to construct an artificial Cold War that will make more money for the military-industrial complex of the U.S., certainly, and other partners. But even more than that, will be a landmark period of time in determining how the future of the planet is going to play out. Because in the aftermath of the Cold War, we have the emergence of new gigantic international organizations like the European Union, like the World Trade Organization. These are Rockefeller globalist organizations that told the world, look, we almost came to the brink of total annihilation here during the Cold War. We don't want that to happen. Of course, they don't say, we built that construct. We don't want that to happen. Therefore, we have created international organizations dedicated to cooperation and peace, such as the World Trade Organization, the European Union, and others. United Nations, certainly created in 1945 at the end of World War II. And if you just let us and stand aside, we will build a new planetary civilization based on peace, goodwill, equality, fairness, justice for all. That is the rhetoric. That's the propaganda. That's the problem, creating the problem and enacting the solution. That is building a gigantic management system for the planet with a friendly face to convince people that this is not bad, this is not evil, this is not going to cause anybody any harm. In fact, everything will be peaceful and everybody will share in everything. That's the long con, as they say in the biz. That's the long hustle. That's the long construction of history. And that's why the material that I've been reading to you tonight is so important to understand, and the researchers behind them, Anthony Sutton, Gary Allen, and others whose names you would discover if you read Sutton's work and Gary Allen's work. These researchers and their work have, to a significant degree, been buried, lost, and forgotten, and they need to be resurrected so that we can understand what is really going on now and how the paradigm of the left versus the right and this group versus that group, and how we must have peace and goodwill, and how we must all, we're all in this together, and so on and so on and so forth, is part of the long con, designed, built to usher in this new globalist civilization. So I think that's enough, and I will end my report for tonight. Thank you very much.
Thank you for that, John. But I think people need to be reminded about the lack of morals, how that increases when more money comes into play. And at some point, morality or having a conscience completely disappears. It dissipates. It's gone. Can you imagine? This is what's really funny. Can you imagine somebody going into a boardroom, some billionaire, and now he's sitting on a board, right, for some arms manufacturer, and comes, I was just thinking about all of these nuclear warheads we're building and this new contract. Do you guys think that's right? Shouldn't we backpedal all these bullets? I get it, but couldn't we do something else with our money and our profits? And the room would react in shock because they don't relate to conscious anymore. They don't. They don't have. They are burnt in the inside. They're black. You know what I mean? And
of course,
it's exactly how this plays out. And the biggest money in the world, there is big pharma. But the money that is made in international arms trades and the stockpiling an army and what it is, and a Navy and an Air Force. That money is so huge, and it is done for to kill people, and they don't care about that. They don't. If more people die, right? If more bombs are dropped, more Tomahawk missiles are fired, and people have died, that means their profits are going up, and they are happy about that. It's crazy, and we need to be reminded of that more and more every day.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I would add on what I said, and that is the most elite of these people that we're talking about with no conscience, no morality, they also have an end game in mind. In other words, for them, it isn't only the money. It is that, for sure. But it is also the idea that out of this chaos that they create and the wars that they financed on both sides and so forth, that they will be able to build a new civilization based on the premise of, we know you're sick and tired of war and that it's horrible and everything, although we created it, but we'll leave that out. And so we're going to now build you a new civilization where everything will be just and moral and good. That is the end game.
Underground? Where does this new civilization live?
Everywhere, in every country on the planet, because they suppose in their insanity that they can keep the ultimate destruction of the planet from happening, and that they will build this new society of globalism where every citizen is a cipher and a unit and a number, assigned a slot and a role from cradle to grave, and it'll be wonderful. And if you want to read about the future of that, all you have to do is pick up Brave New World by Huxley.
No doubt about that. And it's the fact that this is a fact. There are charts, books, numbers, software, projections out there that are dealing with just that. And it freaks me out. It absolutely blows my mind. And we talk about the deep state of the New World Order or the Cabal or whatever, the Illuminati, whatever label you want to put on it. There are people out there that do nothing but think these thoughts. And it's crazy. Yeah. It's crazy.
That's their job.
John, thank you so much, my friend. Have a great Labor Day weekend. Go out and have some fun. Just don't get arrested, okay?
Okay, man.
I'll talk to you, John. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Jimmy.
Another great No More Fake Newsroom from the one and only Jon Rappoport. Now, you do need to start off your day every single day over at nomorefakenews.com. All right, it's Fadernight. Thursday night, opening up the phone lines right now, 323-825-5045 or 323-275-9695. We got lots to talk about. Hey, by the way, WikiLeaks just got hacked. I'll have that for you when we come back. This is Fade to Black, Fadernight. Open lines are next. Stay with us.
This is Fade to Black with Jimmy Church on the Game Changer Radio Network and KGRA, the Global Radio Alliance.
This is KGRA Digital Broadcasting Station, Salt Lake City, Utah, Van Buren, Arkansas.
And you're listening to my main man, Jimmy Church, on jimmychurchradio.com.
Hi, this is Ray Hobbs here, repping the planet, and you're listening to my good friend, Jimmy Church, Fade to Black, on the Game Changer Network and the KGRA Digital Broadcast Station.
This is Toby Kebbell. You're listening to jimmychurchradio.com. Don't hurt me, Jimmy. I'm only little.
Hey, I'm Adrian Grenier.
And this is Ari Gold.
We're the Honey Brothers.
Yes.
We're of the Honey Brothers. Hey, I'm Adrian Grenier.
And I'm Ari Gold.
We're the Honey Brothers.
And you're listening to Jimmy Church.
The Revolution.
Ancient Life Oil. Life-changing. The real oil. CBD is truly ancient life oil from the source. This oil has no psychoactive effect and is also legal in all 50 states. When you're healthy, you're happy. The truth about this wonderful plant is that it wants to give back to mankind life, longevity, and happiness. Ancient Life Oil are golden grade, all organic, non-GMO, and infused with high-quality liquid coconut oil. It's simple. Just go to ancientlifeoil.com today. That's ancientlifeoil.com. The best, purest, organic, and non-GMO CBD in the world. Go Beckley Tappy. The statements made regarding these products have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Please consult your healthcare professional about potential interactions or other possible complications before using any product.
What's up, Fadernauts? Studio Dome loves Fade to Black and the F2B audience so much that they have put together the ultimate stereo Bluetooth system. They've done it just for you. Man, check this out. The Studio Dome SBB2 stereo system is here. It's featuring 2 Studio Boombox 2 SBB2 wireless Bluetooth speakers, packed in its own custom hardshell case. This Studio Dome system features the very latest in stereo Bluetooth technology. The 2 full-range boomboxes are in true wireless stereo. You've got to hear this. It's amazing. It's just $129 and use the promo code JCRTWS and you'll also get free shipping. It's simple. Just go to jimmychurchradio.com, click on the Studio Dome banner. Go Beckley Tappy.
This is Micah Hanks of the Gralien Report, and you're listening to Jimmy Church on Fade to Black, across the globe on the Game Changer Radio Network and the one and only KGRA Radio, The Planet.
All right, Thursday night, Fader Nights. Open lines all night long. 323-825-5045 or 323-275-9695. All right, I've just now opened up the phone lines. Okay, so if you are on hold, you can hear my voice right now. You just stay right there. I'll get to you, and let's have a great night tonight. I've got a bunch of really cool facts here. I think I'm going to try to stump a few of you, and we'll see how that plays out. It's either going to be really good or not. Right? We'll see. But I just mentioned right before the break, WikiLeaks has just been hacked. The hackers, right? How is this possible? Because they're known for hacking the databases of governments and companies itself. They just got hacked today, apparently by a rival hacking group called Our Mine. That's M-I-N-E, Our Mine. The breach would be especially galling for WikiLeaks as it had previously challenged the Saudi Arabia-based Our Mine to come and hack WikiLeaks. You don't challenge a hacker. A hacker is going to figure out a way to get it done no matter who you are, right? Well, Our Mine apparently not just answered the challenge, but even teasingly reminded WikiLeaks of it, saying on the WikiLeaks site, remember when you challenged us to hack you? Well, WikiLeaks had previously tried to hack Our Mine. Our Mine became notorious after hacking the Twitter accounts of tech titans such as Mark Zuckerberg and Jack Dorsey, right? You know Jack, one of the founders of Twitter. And because they were using outdated databases containing old passwords. But hacking Twitter profiles of individuals and breaching an organization's website are different ball games altogether. And Our Mine is priding itself on the achievement because today they said, hi, it's Our Mine Security Group. Don't worry, we are just testing your blah, 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 blah. That's what they posted on WikiLeaks. Oh, wait, This is not actually a security test. WikiLeaks, remember when you challenged us to hack you? Well, Our Mind posted this on WikiLeaks' homepage. The group hacked the website via a DNS attack, and the uncomplicated nature of the hack was seemingly designed to humiliate, not harm WikiLeaks, since the organization prides itself on, technical proficiency. So they just went in and got at their servers that were there between the web and their website, and it just showed to everybody that something that simple could be done and bring down WikiLeaks. An absolutely fascinating day in hacking history. And I myself had to go to the website, the homepage for WikiLeaks, and see it myself, and I did. Unbelievable. All right, let's go to the phones. Let's go. It's Thursday night. Hi, you're live on Fade to Black. Who's calling?
Hi, Jimmy. This is Nathan in Ohio.
Hi, Nathan in Ohio. How are you? Do you guys really swear the most than any state in the country?
I'm not from here, but I know I swear a lot.
Well, so I guess everybody... Do you notice it when you walk around? I mean... little old ladies walking down the street, just... Is that what it's like?
I have to admit, it's pretty funny. Everybody I've met's pretty loose with the tongue.
Yeah, potty mouth. All right, what's on your mind tonight, Nathan?
All right, basically what I wanted to break down why I think disclosure is not going to happen anytime soon.
Okay, seems to be the most popular subject these days, and I agree with you. Break it down for us, Nathan.
All right. First of all, I think disclosure is at least in some parts being controlled by them, not us.
Okay.
I mean, I think we are keeping secrets, and I think they've been keeping secrets since ancient times.
Okay. I'll go with that. That's number one. What's number two?
Number two, really, the fact that there are no straight lines in ufology. Everything kind of goes into there's always something that makes you question whether it's legit. There's so much disinfo, and that's why we're having so many problems with people accepting the fact that UFOs are real and that aliens exist.
Okay.
But also...
Right. So number three. Go ahead.
The last point I want to make is they're not going to accept us unless we're a unified world on some level, which is why I think the cabal is rushing so hard to have a unified world. I just worry about the side they're on. And that's my last point.
Yeah. All three really good points, Nathan. And just like I had said last night on the show, I think that with everything like converging now and starting to overlap, where science and technology are now in the UFO side of things and supporting us over here, the UFO side of things and the paranormal, the supernatural side of things is overlapping into the technical and science side of life, where everything is, numbers and proof and, proving in theory and the scientific method, testing and repeating and proving and so forth. So now these worlds are starting to collide. And I see it happening. Now, while this is going on, we have the politicians out there that seem to be talking about something that relates to aliens and UFOs and Area 51 all of the time. I don't understand why this is surfacing now. And when you combine all of that, then you have NASA and all of these observatories around the world and the radio telescopes and their news press conferences that they're holding about a new exoplanet or something every single week. So it could be something out of everybody's hands. Ultimately, the way that this plays itself out, I don't know when and where and how it's going to happen, but I feel like something's about to break. And that's why I thank you for your phone call and bringing that up. Disclosure means something different to everybody. Thank you so much, Nathan. Have a great Labor Day weekend. Oh, I guess he was done saying goodnight. Hi, you're live on Fade to Black. Who's calling?
This is Eddie Castriva. I'd like to talk about my lifetime experience.
Okay. You're breaking up a little bit, Eddie. Go ahead. Keep talking to us.
All right. I'm one of the Fadernauts in the sandbox. I had a lifetime experience when I was a kid.
What happened?
Oh,
okay. You're breaking up, Eddie. You're breaking up. I guess we lost him. Okay. Let's go to the next caller. Hi, you're live on Fade to Black. Who's calling?
This is Megan Lair.
This is who?
You can call me Sim.
Okay. How are you? What's on your mind tonight?
I'm great.
What's on your mind tonight?
Yeah, so I've been listening to your show, and I think it's great, and I like how you have multiple different types of speakers, and my question is, and I do get that everybody has a different opinion, but why is it so pressed that you have to go to a sacred site or places like East City Ranch to have an experience? Because it just seems like they're everywhere. And I think that if more people looked up and stopped looking at their phones and their technology, that they would experience it way more and not have to feel like they have to be at these special places. What are your thoughts?
Well, you don't have to be at those special places. They do happen. Those special places that you're referring to have a history of things going on there. Why? I don't know. That's like saying, why do you have to go to a haunted house to go see a ghost? Well, it's because it's haunted, right? It's just the way it is. But if you, I don't understand why, we go out to Joshua Tree and we see things, or we go up to East City or Mount Shasta and we see things at these places. I don't know, because I come back to Los Angeles and Burbank and I look up into the sky and I know that there's stuff going on up there. We just don't see it. But if you get night vision and look up into the skies here in Los Angeles, I am sure you're going to see some of the same strange things that we're seeing at these other sites. But when you look Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, I live in the Silicon Valley area, and I've captured day and night objects. I've got hours and hours of footage of it, and I try to encourage other people to do the same thing, and all they would need to do is look at their videos, frame by frame, or just be patient. But I just don't. I think that it might be kind of a group and community feeling that they get from these places, but I'm telling you, they're everywhere.
Yeah, they're everywhere. It's going on right now. Wherever you live on this planet, I don't care. Wherever you live, walk outside at night, look up into the sky, and if you don't see anything moving around, that's one thing. The flip side is you need to understand, as you are looking up into the sky, there is stuff going on right now. I guarantee it. It doesn't matter where you live. It just doesn't matter.
I can walk outside right now and I can see something. I'm not even kidding.
I know.
I try to encourage people around here just to do it, just to see, and they get, some people get creeped out, but
do you have?
But for the most part, it's crazy.
Right. Do you have night vision?
I do have a night vision, and I've captured some things on there too. It's not just night; it's day. It's
right. Right.
What's
your name?
I saw something at the Contact of the Desert. I saw something there, and I looked at a couple of people. And I said, "Don't you see what I'm looking at?" They're like, "No." It's like this globe that was in the sky, and it was giving off a green hue.
Right.
It's crazy. I don't know. Some people just don't have the capability of seeing it, or I don't know. I don't know what it is,
but that's
everywhere.
That's another good point. I have seen things, and I know that there's people around me that are not seeing the exact same thing. Somebody mentioned it this week on the show where, they were standing there and this object was up really close, and he said, "Aren't you seeing this?" "No, I am not." So I don't get that part of it either. I really don't. The one thing, what was your name again?
What's crazy is I've captured it on video where I've seen something and other people haven't seen it.
What's your name?
Where it's on video.
What's your name?
My name is Megan, but you can call me Sam.
Okay, Megan. Okay. What is fascinating to me is that whether it's, I think that if you have a group of people together that are happy, that are there to enjoy the moment, that draws out whatever is going on. I can't explain that. I agree. Yeah, I haven't gone out with night vision and by myself and looked up. I haven't done that. As strange as that may sound, I've never done that. I've always been with a group of people. So I think that there's something to that. Now, I could be completely wrong where I may go out with night vision and go out by myself and see things. And that'll take that theory and flush it down the drain. But I think that there is something to having a good, happy, loud, boisterous crowd. I don't know if, and I don't want some audience members to take this the wrong way, but I don't know if going out and having some silent meditation, right?
I don't agree with that either.
I don't know if that's the way to do it, man.
It isn't, because it's the whole being internal still. I think that I'm okay. We can probably talk about this for hours.
I know we could.
There's just so much about it,
Megan, thank you for the phone call. Okay, seriously, and I think those are just great points that all of us should realize. You don't have to go to Joshua Tree to see crazy stuff.
No,
it's going on above your house right now.
People to think anywhere. They can see them anywhere. Don't feel constrained by the fact that you can't get in the car and go somewhere.
Megan, you have a great, safe Labor Day weekend.
Cheers.
Thank you so much. Great phone call. And she's 100% correct. You don't need to go to a special place to see stuff. Hi, you're live on Fade to Black. Who's calling?
Hey, this is Jason, Louisiana.
Hey, Jason in Louisiana. Are you guys dry? You guys safe? Is it all good?
A little wet right now, a little wet. Not much sky watching tonight. I just heard your previous caller.
Yeah.
And I'm former military. I was in the Marine Corps, so I understand a lot about night vision. I'm actually here to also offer you, if you're interested, I have a Gen 3 Plus that I'm willing to loan you. Maybe you can go out and look. I heard you just say you wanted to
well, actually,
maybe look at it by yourself.
Yeah, Jason, thank you for that. We are now working with our new sponsor is Bearing Optics. And
nice.
And we're going to have and they are actually making a fade to black model of their night vision that's going to be available in about a week, maybe 2 weeks out at the most. So when that launches, and that's pretty cool. And so it's going to
I just had one experience.
Yeah, go ahead.
That I wanted to bring up real quick. I've been sky watching for years. I got thermal optics and night vision. And there's something, I know when the ISS is passing over, and from my experience, that's the largest thing in space that we know of, the public, I guess, that's built. But there's something much larger that's always a north-south polar orbit. I don't know what it is. We see it all the time. I don't have the capability of filming it through my night vision because you need some adapters and stuff and to get the lens right.
Right.
It's just really hard with an iPhone, you know what I mean?
Right, right.
I don't know what it is, but it's something huge.
Yeah.
And it's multiple, I don't know.
We've seen that.
If anybody else has seen it.
We've seen the same thing. Now, what you can do, by the way, our new night vision stuff that is coming out will have all of the necessary things you need to record. And I think that, and I can't really get specific with that because I don't want to tip things off to our competitors out there. but I have some original ideas that I think need to be incorporated with this, and you're addressing some of that right now. So we're going to have some.
Would be great.
Yeah, we're going to have some really cool things available now. You can look at all of the satellite activity and what is going on at any specific time.
Correct.
And that is easy to do. Some of the north-south, because the polar orbit, now once you get into polar orbit, there is it's a fraction of the amount of satellites that are out there. It's a difficult orbit, and why would you need a polar orbit as opposed to...
Mostly or military, in my experience.
That is correct.
But, even secret. But it's something large, and I mean way larger than the ISS. It's typically in orbit. I see it in Louisiana every now and then.
Right.
You could tell the difference in size.
Yeah, you can.
It's just, I don't know. More people need to look up and maybe be able to video, like you said. And it's just something that I wanted to address because I see it a lot, and it's huge. But you can tell it's in orbit, so I don't know.
There you go. Jason, thank you for the phone call. Okay, look, I'm going to hit you with this. I'm going to hit you with a fact,
Sure.
Okay? All right, you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. France executed the last person by guillotine the same year Star Wars was released. Is that BS or not?
I'm thinking BS.
That is a fact. France executed somebody by guillotine in 1977. Is that crazy? By guillotine. Chop somebody's head off in 1977. And that's a fact. All right. Hey, Jason.
Wild. I appreciate it.
You have a great night.
I'll send you an email if you ever want to get involved looking with some other stuff. I appreciate it.
Yeah, I appreciate that too, man. And you can write me anytime. No, thank you so much. Enjoy your Labor Day weekend.
All right, I appreciate it.
There you go. Jason in Louisiana. Thank you so much for that. And let's go back to the phones. Hi, you're live on Fade to Black. Who's calling?
Hi, Jimmy. My name's Les. I'm in Austin. And
how are you guys doing in Austin? You guys good?
Yeah, we're good. We're too far west to really get much more than some wind and some rain.
Well, the way it was playing out there, anything was possible. See, I thought Houston was going to be in the clear. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, it could have, if it had gone west, maybe another 50 to 100 miles, we would have had really serious floods in the hill country.
Yeah.
But we lucked out, and most of the flooding was about 25 miles east of Austin, all the way to the coast.
Yep. Our thoughts and prayers are with everybody in the great state of Texas, Les. And you know that you listen to the show. First time caller though, right? How are you? What's on your mind tonight?
I'm good. Well, first I want to say I used to listen to somebody else I won't mention in this time block, but I just listen to you from now on. It's just more informative. But I'm 68. I've done a few things, and back in the 90s, I worked for a guy who was 5 years out of retirement, and at that time, he was the highest-ranked Navy SEAL on the planet. And he taught me a few things and mentored me about a few things, but I'm not really going to talk about those this evening. What I did want to kind of bring up, and it's not a criticism, it just doesn't make sense to me. I like David Wilcock, and I think he's got a lot of good information, but sometimes when he says things like that military special forces are making arrests of pedophiles and different things like that, that just can't happen. It's illegal in the United States.
No, actually, that was in the mainstream media and released as a news article 2 weeks ago.
I'd love to see it, because it just seems, not only is it illegal, but anybody with money who might have been arrested for something like that, their lawyers would get them out of it so fast because it would be an illegal arrest. But if you could put that source up on your your Twitter, I'd love to see it.
Sure.
Because I'm not trying to be critical. I'm just asking a question here because some things just don't make sense, and you got to ask why and discuss why it doesn't make sense and see if, like you got information, like you said.
Yeah, and when it comes to that kind of stuff, I let other radio shows or other news outlets report on that because it just bums me out. I just don't like the subject because I know that this is a reality and it's part of our world, but I only have so many hours, to do a show each night, and I focus on other stuff, and I run out of time every night. So I let everybody else report on that. But when Wilcock and others started to talk about this, and I just went and looked, and sure enough, there it was in the mainstream media about some of these arrests that were being made, and it blew my mind that it was covered in the mainstream media. So, but I don't think that they want this highly publicized, and I'll tell you why. Because those kinds of individuals would go and start to cover their tracks and would know that the man was coming after them. So did they mention that it was a military operation or a special forces operation or a domestic police operation? No, exactly. Everything that you're talking about right now was pretty much exactly as he and others reported it. So you can go. Wow. Somebody will get it up here in Twitter. And you can go and do the reading for it yourself. Now, Les, the other thing is that I do want to say, when it comes to Wilcock or David Icke or, without naming names, there's no point in doing that.
I know what you're talking about.
When they go and they start to talk about these subjects, it is tough for a lot of people to absorb and to listen to and to understand because some of it is getting way, way, way out there. And it's difficult in our own reality to comprehend and to understand and to believe. Okay, now what I ask everybody to do, because this is how I deal with it myself. I just look at the world around me and go do a little bit of research into it and see if some of it can be confirmed. But most of that stuff is not going to be confirmable. It's just not. Why would it be confirmable?
I've been told things by my mentors that are just as unbelievable. But these were highly credentialed people, and there's no reason to just bring them up. But, at the same time, we've just got to try to source things out as much as we can to get to the truth and keep an open mind at the same time.
That's exactly how the world should work, Les, and that's why you're a fan of this show. Thank you so much, my friend. And listen, stay safe out there in Texas. And go do a Labor Day weekend, Texas style, for me. Will you do that?
I will do it. If you ever come here, get in touch with me. I'll show you where the best barbecue is.
I know you will, Les. Thank you, thank you so much, man, and have a great rest of your evening.
You too.
Thank you so much, Les. Austin, Texas, one of the great cities in this country, right there, Austin. This is Fade to Black. Open lines all night long. Stay with us. I'll be right back.
Way out here, we listen to Jimmy Church.
You're listening to Fade to Black.
Always on the edge of the hottest alternative talk. Jimmy Church with Fade to Black. KGRARadio.com.
¿Qué tal, mis amigos? Yo soy Mario Carson, el tiburón, y los invito para que escuchen a mi buen amigo Jimmy Church Radio. ¡Claro que sí!
Hello, Fadernauts. This is Jimmy Church, and I'm introducing New Pharma. a company whose products are based on science. Human function based on the endocannabinoid system, or ECS. New Pharma firmly believes in this science, and their research indicates that support of the ECS provides the beneficial effects for a healthy lifestyle. New Pharma's science includes relief capsules for pain relief, sleep capsules, which are natural support for occasional sleeplessness. Foundation is support for your ECS, and Fit capsules support your active lifestyle. Just click on the banner at jimmychurchradio.com and use the promo code F2B for a 33% discount on all of their products. Or visit newpharma.com for all of the knowledge on the science. That's GNUpharma.com. Go Beckley Tappy.
Hi, I'm Matt Ray for U.S. Gold Bureau. I cover the market daily. No matter how strong it gets or what long-term predictions say, you can count on one thing as certain. There will be another crash. It will affect your assets. And when it happens, wouldn't you rather be 2 weeks or even 2 months ahead of the curve? Well, Wall Street insiders have been quietly converting their assets into gold for the last few years. Now it's your turn. Buying gold and silver is easier than buying stocks with the U.S. Gold Bureau's Investor Guide. It's free, and you learn how to buy precious metals in or out of an IRA or 401k retirement plan. Your investment shipped directly to your home and is 100% insured and guaranteed. You control your investments and shelter them against the stock market, politics, and unknown threats. Act while your dollar is still worth something. Call U.S. Gold Bureau, 800-885-GOLD. U.S. Gold Bureau, 800-885-GOLD, 800-885-GOLD. Call today.
You listen to us, and we listen to you. And so does the CIA. KGRAradio.com.
Hi, folks. CBD is the home run hitter for health right now. Why, you ask? Because of what it does for the body. Unfortunately, I can't tell you all about the benefit. You know, there's reasons. Do your due diligence and log on to ancientlifeoil.com. That's ancientlifeoil.com. Ancient Life Oil uses organic ingredients and is blended in coconut oil for some of the best benefits. Legal in 50 states and non-psychoactive. Log on to ancientlifeoil.com. That's ancientlifeoil.com.
You are listening to Fade to Black with Jimmy Church on the Game Changer Network.
Oi, oi, I'm Reese Evans. You're listening to Jimmy Church. This is Revolution. The revolution will not be televised. The revolution is on radio. Ciao.
Welcome back, Fade to Black. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. Thursday night, Fadernight. Now, have you, open lines all night long, by the way, 323-825-5045, 323-275-9695. Have you been to uniwiki.org yet? Have you been there? Have you participated? Have you signed up? It is the next step of our community. Uniwiki.org. Now, I've put up the links right here in Twitter, and I want everybody to go and experience the page and take the surveys and start to participate in what UniWiki is all about. The effort that has been put into UniWiki is extraordinary, but this is what is cool. Some people talk, others deliver. Okay, and that's the reality of our world. And the engine, the very bed, the foundation of UniWiki is done. So now this is the exciting part about it, is everybody in our community can start to participate and take things to the next level. and Uni Wiki is going to be the go-to resource for all of our community, no matter what it is. This is it. This is where it's all going to take place. And the efforts behind this extraordinary opportunity for us, I can't put it into words. So when you go and you visit the webpage and you go and you look, I mean, I am so blown away by the look, the feel, the engine, how it has been put together, and it's all here for you. This is a resource. You can go, you can take the survey, you can create your account, you can learn, you can spread knowledge, you can be one of the contributors. The Unity workshops are there. The podcast is getting ready to kick off. The pages are being built. And I want all of you, all of us in our community, to take advantage of UniWiki and start to spread the word. And if you have started a page, if you have contributed, if you have visited UniWiki, I want to hear from you tonight, right here on Fade to Black. Okay, 323-825-5045, 323-275-9695. And with that, let's go back to the phones. Hi, you're live on Fade to Black. Who's calling?
Hey, Jimmy, can you hear me?
I got you.
Hey, it's Kevin from near St. Louis.
Hey, Kevin from near St. Louis. How are you tonight? Have you been to UniWiki yet?
No, I have not. I'm sorry.
Okay. Well, that's your job now. As soon as you hang up, you go to UniWiki. Okay?
That's good because I need a job right now. So
go to UniWiki. All right. What's on your mind?
Oh, man. By the way, I did hear you talking about UniWiki a few weeks ago with Richard Dolan. I listened to that interview. You know, it was great. So I knew about it at least. I just haven't been there yet. But a couple things. I went to my first MUFON meeting about 3 weeks ago.
And how'd that go?
So, you know what? It was actually better than I expected. I thought it would just be like me, but it was actually a pretty big crowd, and they were more in line with kind of my views. So I was pretty happy with it.
So this was in St. Louis?
Yeah, St. Louis.
Did they have anybody speaking that night? What was the agenda?
Well, they actually had a Skype presenter from Canada.
And
he was he used to work for the what's the network up there, the official Canadian network. He used to work for them as one of their sports guys.
Right.
So he was pretty legit. So.
Okay. Was it cool? Did you have a good time?
Oh yeah. It was great to commune with some fellow believers and whatnot, and I definitely they do it once a month, so I'll probably try to make it every month.
Are you going to join MUFON?
Oh, probably. I don't know why I haven't yet. Maybe I should wait till I get a job. But
okay.
Yeah, I plan on it. So
I get it. I do. Okay, so what else is on your mind, man?
a lot. But one thing, I wanted to get your take on isolation tanks, sensor deprivation.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever done that?
I have not. I have been invited many times to do it. I would love to experience it. I understand it is a life-changing experience.
Yeah, I guess I was listening to Joe Rogan talk about it, and that kind of made me get a little more interested. And I looked it up, and turns out there's actually a few places in St. Louis that have them. And I talked to them today, and for like I think $60, I can do a whole hour or an hour and a half. And I'm definitely going to get around to doing that. It's that's going to be a trip.
Yeah, well, after you do it, call in, and I would love to hear about your experience. I remember Rogan talking about it before he did it, right? And then he did do it, right? And so I've heard the before and the after. And I think he was going to Venice Beach. He had a friend down at Venice Beach that has got them. But anyway, it was really interesting to hear his take and what actually occurs there. Because there's, again, I've never done it. I've only done some simple research into it, and I've had offers to go and experience it. But to have every muscle in your body, everything completely zone out and zero out, where you are completely physically relaxed, and then you have the quietness, and you can listen to your own body work, right? You're listening to your heart, right? You're listening to your brain think, and then go off to wherever you need to go to, because it's a singular personal experience. But to go and do that and kind of center yourself, and whatever happens after that, I think it's different for everybody. Are you leaving this planet? Are you leaving your body? Are you completely disconnected? Are you going out and doing that? Or is it something else that is more inside of you? Again, you need to go out and experience that. So go and do it, and call in, man, and let me know what your experience was like.
Yeah, I also along those lines, you said it could be like a life-changing experience, and I'm sure, because it ties in just psychologically with, I guess, psychedelic of altered states and whatnot. But I here in St. Louis, or near St. Louis anyways, we had totality for the eclipse.
Mm-hmm.
And I watched it from my driveway, and it was cool. Don't get me wrong, but I've met several people, and I've seen some people online, and I know these are people that have done psychedelics and stuff, and yet they're saying that this totality was like bigger than that and life changing, and again, that just blows my mind, no pun intended, because I watched it, and like I said, it was cool, but to me personally, subjectively, it wasn't life changing. It was the moon passing in front of the sun.
Mm-hmm.
It just wasn't like this huge deal to me. Am I just weird, or?
Again, it's so individualized. For me, there are a couple of moments that I thought were interesting in movies where you're watching something going on in ancient history, and in the background there's a comet going across the sky, right? This crazy cosmic event is going on, and it's overwhelming. It is such a unique thing, because day in and day out, everything is the same. The sun is rising and setting. The moon is in the sky, or it is not. But it's a cyclical thing, right? Unchanging. And then something like that comes along, and for me, watching it, I knew that I have never, ever, ever seen anything like this in my life. Ever.
Oh, that's right. You were up in Oregon, weren't you?
Yeah. And so,
okay, yeah.
I knew that I was seeing something that was. I've experienced a lot of things. I've never seen anything like that, and to have the temperature drop like it did, and to be around so many people at the same time that were experiencing it, I totally dug it. And I'm going to tell you right now, the next time around, I think it's in 2024.
2024.
I'm there, man. We're chasing that thing down, and I will be in totality. That is just an amazing thing to see.
Yeah, I had my 2-year-old son with me, and he's probably not going to remember it. And so when 2024 comes around, I'll probably drive 200 miles or whatever so he can actually remember it. But you mentioned, you brought up movies and stuff. And I'm a pretty big cinema fan, and some of my favorite movies I consider kind of life changing. And along those lines, I guess we all are aware that Close Encounters is coming out like tonight.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah.
And that's like my favorite movie of all time, and I'm taking my kid, and I'm just so stoked about that.
Well, I won't take you away from that, but I'm going to ask you this question. Are you ready? You think you can answer it?
Well, let's see.
Okay, you ready? One 18-inch pizza is more pizza than two 12-inch pizzas. Bullshit or not?
I mean, I'm not a mathematician, but my first instinct is bullshit.
No. One 18-inch pizza is more pizza than two 12-inch pizzas. And all you have to do is do the math. One 18-inch pizza has an area of 254 square inches. Two 12-inch pizzas are 113 square inches each, for a total of 226 square inches. So therefore, one 18-inch pizza is much larger than two 12-inch pizzas. So there you go, Kevin from St. Louis. You just learned something tonight. Now go watch Close Encounters with your son.
Oh, I can't wait.
Have a good night, my friend, and enjoy your Labor Day weekend.
See you, Jimmy.
Thank you so much. And you know, that was kind of funny because the BS just came out. I had to do it. If you remember, there is a movie. It's called Amazon Women on the Moon. And if you haven't seen it, go see it. It's I don't know how you would get it. I don't even know if it's on DVD. I had it on VHS forever. Maybe I do have it on DVD. But I'm sure it's on Netflix. I would think. Maybe even on YouTube. But it's called Amazon Women on the Moon. And it's a bunch of short clips that go through a bunch of different directors. Landis directed. I don't know if Spielberg did one or not. But anyway, a bunch of directors directed these short clips, and they put it together for one continuous movie. It's hilarious. But there's one segment in there called BS or Not. Soap in the mouth. Yeah, and I just had to say it. It's a really funny segment in the movie. Okay, open lines, 323-825-5045 or 323-275-9695, talking about Uni Wiki. Again, go and check out the website. It is amazing. Go and check it out right now and take the survey. Create your account. Think about contributing something. Look at the workshops. Check it all out. If you've contributed, if you've started creating, and I do want to hear from you. I want to hear how excited you are because, like I said, the engine is built. Everything is finished, and this is getting ready to take over our community. And how exciting is it that you, the Game Changer Network, the Fadernauts, Modern Masters, John and Dana and everybody that is behind this is taking part. I was just looking at Twitter. One of our Fadernauts, Eric Stitt, is now going to be one of the artists that is involved over with Uni Wiki and Modern Masters. And I'm looking at his tweet here. The tools for the shift are in place and operating. Nothing stopping that now. Eric, you are exactly right. And Eric, your artwork is absolutely amazing. I'm just letting you know right now. I don't even know has Eric ever called into the show? I don't know. Eric, call in. You are the new artist over there. I would like to hear from you. Too sober to call. There you go. All right. I'm reading Twitter just a bit too much. Okay. Some crazy breaking news right now. I've been waiting for this to happen for a very long time, but it hit the news wire today. The Food and Drug Administration has approved the first ever gene therapy to treat cancer here in the U.S. The treatment offers a totally new approach for fighting the disease and could lead to novel treatments of other serious and life-threatening diseases. Now, yesterday, the FDA approved a new leukemia treatment from the Swiss pharmaceutical company Novartis. Now, which the agency said is the first gene therapy available in the United States. The treatment, called Humira, is a genetically modified T-cell immunotherapy, which each dose is created by using the patient's own T-cells. Each patient's T-cells are then sent to a manufacturing center where they are genetically modified to include a new gene that contains a specific protein. The CAR cells are known as a living drug, are then infused back into the patient where they target and kill leukemia cells. When all of this gene therapy and the possibility of this and T cells were talked about over the last 5 years, I know I thought the same things that everybody else thought. You know what? It sounds good, man, but it'll never hit the market. There's going to be problems with this. It's never going to work. They're never going to do it. They're never going to cure cancer. They're never going to do. And here we have the first living therapy ever in the United States, announced yesterday. Now, the question is it going to be too expensive? Are they going to be profiteering? Is it going to be ridiculous? Or is it going to be available to the masses, to anybody with leukemia? And that's one of the problems, that I just have with all of this. I was just watching, what was it? The Iron Fist? Is that what it is? The Iron Fist? The Avengers TV series? I can't remember. Is that what it's called? Anyway, that was part of one of the subplots in the film, or in the series, was profiteering off of drugs, right? The drugs were costing nothing, but they were going to charge hundreds of dollars per pill, whatever it was. And I know it's written into the script, and it's interesting to watch, but that's actually what goes on today. So to have something like this, an actual living drug, T-cells from a patient, and then brought back and infused back into the body, where it's going to actually turn around, and that gene modification is going to attack and kill leukemia. It sounds amazing, but is it going to be too expensive? There you go. Let's go back to the phones. Hi, you're live on Fade to Black. Who's calling?
This is Eric. You asked me to call.
Hey, Eric. How are you, brother?
Oh, my God. I'm talking to Jimmy Church.
Oh, stop it, man. I'm talking to Eric Stitt. That's a big deal, man. Hey, listen, and I know you've heard me say this to you, but I'm just going to say it right now. You're an amazing artist, man. You are absolutely amazing. And just thank you. And thank you for starting to work with us in our community. I mean, my hat's off to you, and pretty exciting stuff, isn't it?
I'm guided by heart, and I'm led by all of yours. And I would not be anywhere near what I'm doing right now if it wasn't for you and all the Fader fam. And I love you all madly.
Well, and where
makes me want to cry, man.
Oh, stop it. I'm going to start crying. You should see Twitter's all lighting up right now. You know it. You're watching it. Where can everybody go right now to go and check out your artwork?
Well, I've got my main website, and that is ericstittart.blogspot.com. And from there, you can look at my 2 pages that I have of 2 different types of artwork, my illustrative work as well as my fine art. And then there's my portfolio page that is directly linked to there over to ArtStation.
Man, I'm looking at your stuff right now, and dude, I mean, do you have a clue how talented you are? Do you have a clue? You don't, do you?
I've been trying to get noticed and whatever it is you call it, discovered for almost 30 years. And here I am, almost 51 years old, and finally somebody's noticing.
Oh, man, I got to tell you, I'm tweeting it out right now. I'm doing it. But
oh, bless your heart, Jimmy.
Oh, come on, man. You got the mad skills. You've got the mad skills. So, okay, I've just got it out there right now. Everybody retweet, and let's get that all out there so everybody can go check out Eric's artwork. And I remember the first time I went and looked at your stuff. I'm like, man, this guy is good. I mean, good.
I keep waiting for you to send me your info so I could send you the David Bowie print.
Oh,
I know you like that, and I just want to get one for you, sign it, and then send it to you. No charge. I would love, the greatest honor I could have is that's hanging in the F2B studio somewhere, and all of the guys who can afford a membership to watch you on your little camera there could see David Bowie in the background, and that'd be just badass.
I will absolutely do that. I'll do that with a great honor because that film means so much to me, to all of us that have seen it. I mean, it is just one of the more emotional and moving films about E.T. I'm talking about the man that fell to Earth. And so I'm looking through, this is probably a year ago, it was a while ago. And I'm looking through your stuff and I'm like, oh my, look at this, right? And I was like, this guy is so good. And now that is just one element of what you do, and that I connected with that painting right away. But it's the breadth of your work and how talented you are. You are really, really, really talented. So tell me about. Well, look, we're going to head towards a break here. Tell me about Uni Wiki and Modern Masters and what you're going to be doing for them.
Well, I'm not really involved directly with Uni Wiki, but I've been in contact now for almost a month with John Lund. And he's assembled a team of 3 or 4 artists from all over the world to be the Modern Masters art team. The exact projects that we're going to be working on don't exactly know yet. We're supposed to be hooking up in the Modern Masters chat room to hash that all out and get our projects going. And I'm pretty excited about that, and I'm eager to see what I'm going to be doing and what I'm going to be contributing, or if I'm going to be paired up with anybody and working with them, and if there's going to be any collabs. And it's very exciting to me.
Just thank you for that.
I believe in everything that's going on over there and what we're all doing, very much so. It's like I said, there's a shift happening. Everybody's raising their frequency, and we're all going to be able to see the stuff that's been there to see all along, and we do it through love and kindness and just stop being so doggone mean to each other.
Yeah. Have you checked out Alex Wakefield, by the way?
Yes.
Okay. He's another artist that Alex just tweeted out to you. Eric's got mad skills. and Alex is somebody else. The both of you, we have so many great Fadernauts out there that are so good with the art, like Cara Peralt and we've had some great friendships that have been built through this show. But Alex Wakefield and his artwork, he's somebody else out there, the part of the Fadernaut family that I'm talking about extreme talent. And Alex I got so much respect for Alex, and he just came, like Michael Avon Oming, right? Michael Oming is a Fadernaut. It's been here from the very beginning. And we have some of the greatest artists that I think that are on this planet right now when we hang out with each other every single night because of this show. So, Eric, thank you for all that you do. Modern Masters, and of course, you're going to be folded over into Uni Wiki. You don't have a choice with that. And just thank you so much. Okay, now go say thank you to.
Oh, wow.
Go say
thank you, Jimmy. Give my love to you and Rita, and I love you, Fader family. And man, I mean that from my heart. Thank you. You got me crying half the time.
Hey, go get a Kleenex and then go enjoy the rest of your weekend. Thank you so much, Eric. You are the best, man.
Bless you, man. Bye-bye.
Right back at you. Eric Stitt. How cool is that? Right here on Fade to Black. All right. It's open lines all night long. It's Fade to Black. I'll be right back.
Hi, everybody. This is Rob Halford, the Metal
from God on JimmyChurchRadio.com.
This is KGRA Digital Broadcasting Station, Salt Lake City, Utah, Van Buren, Arkansas.
Okay, nurse, let's get this man to the ER stat.
Right away, doctor.
We see this every day. Heart attack or angina pain due to blocked and clogged arteries. Chelation can remove obstructions or blockages from arteries and help avoid painful and expensive surgery. Now there's Angioprim. It's a liquid oral chelation product that you take with juice. You start to feel the results fast. Angioprim increases blood flow all over the body, and that means more energy and strength to take on the day with less aches and pains. 60 years of research has gone into chelation, and Angioprim is the result. A safe and easy way to unblock your veins and arteries from buildup that slow circulation.
Paging Dr. Jones. Please report to the emergency room right away.
Log on now for a special radio offer from Angioprim. That's angioprim.com/radio. ANGIOPRIM. Angioprim.com/radio or call 877-882-7221. That's 877-882-7221.
So, you love talk radio? Then you'll love TalkStreamLive.com. TalkStream Live is always on, 24/7 with the best streaming talk shows. Find your favorite talkers and discover some new ones. It's free, readily available online or on any smartphone or tablet. Finding your favorite talk shows all in one place has gotten a whole lot easier. Just go to TalkStreamLive.com. Be sure to download the free apps from Google Play or the iTunes App Store.
Your contact for current news and trending topics. KGRARadio.com.
Do you worry a lot? If you're forgetful, nervous, moody, or overwhelmed, chances are you're not protecting yourself from the ravaging effects of stress and anxiety. No matter the cause, ongoing stress and elevated levels of the stress hormone cortisol can rob your memory, your health, your quality of life, and your future. Now you can combat the effects of stress and anxiety while improving your memory and recall at the same time with the dietary supplement Calm and Clever. Studies show that the ingredients in Calm and Clever reduce cortisol by as much as 30% in as little as 1 to 2 weeks and increase your ability to recall facts, names, and numbers in 4 to 12 weeks. Calm and Clever was created by scientist Kurt Hendricks, a principal investigator in 2 NIH-funded studies on Alzheimer's disease. Try Calm and Clever for 2 months. You'll feel the difference. Call 1-800-758-8746 or go to calmandclever.com.
Did you know that when you're on the road with limited data or Wi-Fi available, you can still listen to every minute of Fade to Black by just calling 605-562-4482. No smartphone, app, or internet needed. It saves your data plan and no extra cost if you have unlimited minutes. Just call 605-562-4482. You can listen to me, Jimmy Church, on any phone, anytime, anywhere. Go Beckley Tappy.
You want to know a secret? I love ponies. I really love ponies. I'm serious. I couldn't stay sane without ponies to brush.
Why Fade to Black? Because you never got that pony, damn it.
This is Fade to Black with Jimmy Church on the Game Changer Radio Network and KGRA, the Global Radio Alliance.
All right, welcome back. Fade to Black. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. Thursday night, Fader night. Open lines all night long. 323-825-5045 or 323-275-9695. All right, let's go back to the phones. Hi, you're live on Fade to Black. Who's calling?
Hey, Mr. Church. How's it going? It's Jason.
Hey, Jason. How are you?
I'm doing well. How about yourself?
I'm doing fantastic. It's Thursday night, man. It's Fader night. You know?
Of course.
Absolutely,
yes,
man.
Best night of the week.
It's a bold statement when you have, the great guest on and everything, but there's something about the magic of
the Fadernauts are bringing everybody together and just taking phone calls all night and hanging out and having a conversation. It is just it's so special to me. So there you go.
Yes, sir.
What's on your mind?
First I wanted to give a shout out to Eric. His artwork is just amazing. He is as advertised, as you said, and to have him involved with Modern Masters, that's, they're lucky to have him.
Yeah, no doubt.
I actually wanted to call because you asked for people who are involved in Uni Wiki, and I'm actually working with John and a couple other people doing research for the first podcast for the portals.
Oh, excellent, excellent.
Yes.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, it's actually it's been a great collaborative process so far because each one of us, everybody brings something different to the table, and everybody's enthusiastic and just the things that people have been digging up so far on the portals research has just been eye opening, and it really being involved in the project has been it's been a pleasure for me, and and just contributing in any little way as possible. Like right now I'm looking into portals as it relates to ancient sites and basically ancient myths on portals, and it's been a journey of discovery personally, and it's been nice to be able to contribute to the project as a whole.
Yep, and we're just our first month into Uni Wiki. It's been been put together over the last year, but it is so exciting, and I know that I share the same vision that everybody else does with this. This is going to be the depository, the go-to, the knowledge base of our community forever after this, and it is just going to continue to grow and be huge. But all of us are here at the ground floor as this has launched, and not only with Modern Masters and the Game Changer Network and this thing, but it's about knowledge and a foundation for us that has never been done before. Nobody has done this, and this network and the collaborations that we have put together with so many great minds, this thing is going to continue to build upon itself and be just absolutely great. And we're all going to look back and go, I was there. I remember when this happened. I remember when this launched. I was there. And as big as Wikipedia is today, right? Just imagine if you were at the very beginning when that launched and you were part of it, and because it started with nothing too, and built into this huge thing. That's exactly what is going on right now, and it is exciting, man. I think it is so cool.
It is. It's really interesting to sort of see the building blocks. It's almost like you start with 1, and then you go to 2, and then it's 4 and 6 and 8, and you can see how you can really see foundationally how this thing can be built to be what we want it to be a repository of all this knowledge. And I'd just like to encourage anybody out there who's listening who think they don't know what they have to offer and they don't know what they have to give, just go on. Just go and contribute whatever you have, because that's what we are. We're a repository of people with experiences, with people with a knowledge base that maybe think that they don't have much to offer, but they do, because every little bit goes into this, and that's what we're building. We're building knowledge from the ground up,
That's exactly it. It could be the tiniest, all of it. Everything needs to be collected, and it needs to be stored in one spot. And you may not realize it. I'm talking about the individual out there. You may have this one thing that you know everything about. You've been studying it, and now what do you do with this? What do you do with all of this information that you've collected, your little specialty in life? This is what you do. Now you contribute to humanity. Get what only you know, your specialty, your thing. Get it over here to Uni Wiki and let's start spreading that knowledge. And for everybody, it is very simple. It's UNI, Uni Wiki, WIKI, uniwiki.org. That's it. And go and experience it and do all the things that you need to do. Sign up, get an account, take the survey, and get started, man, and let's start changing the game.
Yeah, and I'd just like to say hi to Donnie, Rob, and Keith, who are really digging into all the portals research and really building foundationally ground up knowledge about portals, what they are, where they come from, the qualities of portals. And I really think once everybody's going to be really excited and really happy once the podcast comes out on this research, because man, the stuff that people are digging up and the what people are bringing to the table is really exemplary. And I'm just personally just happy to contribute whatever I can and just a little part of it that I can. And I'm really excited about it. Not just, thank you and the Game Changer Network and Modern Masters and John for doing this. It's just, it's almost like for me personally, it's almost like I've lived in this realm for so long, and you sort of play on the fringes of the carpet, but now you get to see the weave. You get to take part in the weave of the carpet, not just on the fringes. And thank you guys for that. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you, Jason. Now, are you ready for the fact? Are you ready? You ready for the question?
Oh, I'm ready.
Okay, here we go. There are more trees on Earth than there are stars in the Milky Way. BS or not?
Oh, this is going to be a guess. I am going to say that's fact. That's true.
That there are more trees on Earth than there are stars in the galaxy?
There is a lot of trees in my neighborhood, and I got to imagine with the amount of land coverage that's a big number.
Okay, so that's your final answer.
You're making me second guess it, but I'm saying that's my final answer.
You're a smart guy. Okay? Now.
Yes, sir.
Okay. As we know, there are estimates right now that there are between 100 billion and 400 billion stars in the Milky Way. Right now, on planet Earth, there are over 3 trillion trees. Now, isn't that trippy? That's mind-blowing. If you really think about it in those terms, I would have gone the other way. But 3 trillion trees on planet Earth, and only up to about 400 billion stars in the Milky Way. So there you go, Jason. You're the smartest guy in the room, man. Well done.
Well, luckily it's a small room. So.
Hey, wait till you hear my next. I got another one here that's pretty good that deals with people in the room. Thank you so much, Jason, and enjoy your Labor Day weekend. There you go.
Thank you, sir. You too.
Yeah, great, man. See how smart. Isn't that mind blowing? Now think about the implications of that fact right there. Unbelievable. 3 trillion trees on planet Earth. There are more trees on planet Earth than there are stars in our galaxy. I would have never guessed. All right, 323-825-5045, 323-275-9695. Open lines, Thursday night, Fadernight. What a great show it's been. Okay, now, breaking news today. I'm still kind of digesting this and trying to figure this out. Today, the State Department sent a request to the Russian government to close the consulate in San Francisco, California, as well as a chancery annex in Washington, D.C., and a consular annex in New York City. United States State Department's announcement that Russia must close the consulate in San Francisco and reduce consular presence in Washington, D.C. and New York is a further escalation in already tense relations with Moscow. Then the State Department followed up with this on Twitter. They posted, and I'm quoting, "The U.S. hopes to avoid further retaliation and move forward with improved relations and cooperation with Russia." Holy crap. Man, I mean, where is all of this going right now? I have no idea. All right. All right. Here we go. Check this out. This is pretty trippy. I've got some amazing facts here. And here's another one. Okay? Let's see if somebody can answer this. I'll open up the phone lines. 323-825-5045, 323-275-9695. In a room of 23 people, I was just talking to Jason about this, okay? Now listen to me. In a room with 23 people in it, there's a better than 50% chance that two people have the same birthday. Now, I'll say it again. In a room of 23 people, there's a better than 50% chance that two people have the same birthday. Now, think about that for a second. Think about that. Now, going back to something like the stars in the Milky Way and trees on planet Earth. Now, and here's another one. Now, I tripped out on this. Now, I've got all the facts to back this stuff up. So it depends on which way you're leaning. But you have the tiny little country of Bangladesh. Tiny, right? And then you have Russia. All of Russia, right? Who has the larger population? Think about that for a second. All of Russia or tiny little Bangladesh. And then there's another one that it's almost too difficult to wrap your head around. But Harvard was founded before calculus was created. Now, is that true? Harvard was founded before calculus was created. Now, one has to say, I thought calculus went back thousands of years. But wait a minute. Harvard was founded in, the 16th, 17th century? It's been around for a long time. So wait a minute. What gives here? Now, it's a difficult fact to vet. So don't think you're just going to jump on Google right now and figure this out, because it's difficult. And then you have, here's another one when it comes to a university. Oxford University is older than the Aztec Empire. Now, you can go on Google, you can go and cheat, but think about this for a second. Oxford is older than the Aztec Empire. How is that possible? Well, you need to think about that for a second. Think about that. Lines are open. 323-825-5045. 323-825-5045 or 323-275-9695. All right. I've got one more fact for you. Well, I've got about 50, but here's another one that is pretty trippy. If somebody came up to you and said, Betty White is older than sliced bread, what would be your answer? 323-275-9695 or 323-825-5045. All right, Instagram has been hacked along with Wikipedia today. An Instagram bug allowed hackers to access contact phone numbers and email addresses for their high-profile users. This is all announced earlier today. The bug was discovered recently in Instagram's application programming interface, or their API, which the service uses to communicate with other apps. Instagram declined to specify which users had been targeted, but the news came out 2 days after the hackers accessed the account of its most followed user. That's right, Selena Gomez. And on her account, the hackers posted nude pictures of her ex-boyfriend, Justin Bieber. Yes, it actually happened. Her page was restored later on that day, but the hack did happen, and that's on Instagram. We have our Instagram account. Again, I don't want to sound, naive, like I don't know what's going on, but I haven't been to our own Instagram page. I'm wondering what is going on over there. I wonder if they hacked us. Okay. All right. Where am I? The scope of Wells Fargo's fake accounts went completely haywire today. Now, if you remember last year, I was so vocal about this, about Wells Fargo and the deception that was going on, and the firing of the CEO and everything else that happened. I was very vocal about it because what happened was, because of the pressure of sales goals that Wells Fargo and regional managers, and it goes all the way up the chain, that was put on their sales force to open up new bank accounts, new credit card accounts, new savings accounts, and also the ability to bill the account directly. And the money that was profited off of that, and the commissions that are paid out, right? So what ended up happening, and as it went down the chain, was that these fake accounts were open. Somebody comes in, opens up a checking account, and they split. Well, that sales guy, that rep inside the bank, he's the sales guy. You split. And he turns around and he's opening up other accounts in your name because he's got your social, he's got all of your information. And by the time you got into your car, some of these salespeople had opened up 2, 3, 4, 5 accounts in your name. And if your account got overdrawn and the charges that were applied to the account were taken out of your main checking account, a couple of dollars here, $10 there. Some people don't check their accounts. Nobody knew that this was going on. But the bank profited off of this to the extreme. And the sales guy that you just opened up your checking account or your savings account with is turned around and is making money off of you. Well, now it turns out that there were 3.5 million accounts that were opened without customers' permission between 2009 and 2016. That's up from 2.1 million accounts that the bank had cited back in September 2016. Wells Fargo said today that about 500,000 of the newly discovered accounts were missing during the original review, which covered the years from 2011 to 2015. And I just have to ask you, do you have an account with Wells Fargo? You know what? Close it. As unethical as anything. Man, I don't care what bank you go to. Wells Fargo. Man, let's go back to the phones. Hi, you're live on Faded Black. Who's calling?
Motorhead.
Motorhead? Okay, Motorhead.
Thank you for taking my call.
What's on your mind tonight, Motorhead?
Well, I just I found out about 20 years ago when I was doing a credit report, and I had 2 Social Security numbers. And I tracked it down. I got a phone call, through the government phone call. And they just said that some people were just issued 2 Social Security numbers. And, I recall the lawsuit that some people were suing the government because each person born had a set-aside money within the government. And I just I wonder how many other people have 2 Social Security numbers and they never knew about it. And I'm 53, but about 20 years ago is when I found out about it.
Wow, interesting. Can you use that to your own advantage? Is it illegal to have 2 Social Security numbers? So you have to give one up?
Well, I thought it was fraud to begin with, and when I called, I finally got someone on the phone throughout the government phone number through Social Security number, and they just said a long time ago in the 60s, it might have went to 2 different desks that issued 2 numbers for the same birth certificate.
Wow!
But I just wonder if that's if there's a lot of unknown Social Security numbers out there for the same person that the government uses for whatever that,
Yeah, that's
the people that were trying to sue the government because.
Well, what did they tell you? What did they tell you? To keep both numbers? I mean, what did they say?
They said make sure your employer pays the one that you normally use, and that's the one you would ever gain benefits from.
So you have a backup Social Security number in case of an emergency.
Yeah, that goes back to 1964.
Wow. And
I just thought it was weird.
Yeah. No, I think it's kind of cool. So you go and what if you foreclose on your house or you lose your job or you messed up, somehow you screw up credit on, you co-sign on your daughter's credit card and she, you know what I mean? And whatever, you screw up your credit. So then you have a backup Social Security number with clean credit on it, right?
Yeah. It was weird because it was 59 digits later. So it's real. The numbers are close.
Right, right.
But it goes back to kind of the conspiracy that the government has a certain account for each Social Security number that has a value to it.
Yeah.
Which is nothing I'm trying to gain. I'm not considering any gain from that. But I wonder if it's just some kind of a black accounting method for the government to account for population.
Yeah, I as far as I don't know. I've only got one Social Security number, but that's very interesting. Okay. All right. Well,
yeah, thank you for taking my call, Jimmy. You rock.
Well, hold on, Motorhead. What's your favorite Motorhead song? Ace of Spades?
Ace of Spades.
Okay, there you go. Now, here you go. Is Betty White older than sliced bread?
She's older than Lemmy.
She's older than Lemmy. Is Betty White older than sliced bread? That's the question.
I had too many beers to answer that. Thank you.
Okay. You have a good night, Motorhead.
Yes. You rock.
Yeah,
Bye.
You too. Thank you so much. Motorhead. Well, the answer is Betty White is older than sliced bread. That's right. Sliced bread hit the market on July 7th, 1928. Betty White was born on January 17th, 1922. Therefore, Betty White is older than sliced bread. And that's why you got to love Fade to Black right there. That is exactly why you listen to this show. Well, all right, let's take a break right here. This is Fade to Black. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. Thursday night, Fadernight. Motorhead, first-time caller. That was good. Lenny is older than Betty White. That was pretty good. This is Fade to Black. Phone lines are open. 323-825-5045 or 323-275-9695. Fadernight, Thursday night, open lines all night long. More of your phone calls are next. Stay right there.
Listen to my boy, Jimmy Church, on JimmyChurchRadio.com.
Despite popular opinion, reading a book will not make you smarter.
But listening to Jimmy Church will.
So you went to dinner last night, you had your favorite pasta. Ugh. Or maybe you had a heavy, spicy meal and it left you. Ugh. GetTheT.com. Maybe you mowed down a huge steak and your plumbing is all plugged. Ugh. GetTheT.com. Our super strength tea will take care of your occasional. Ugh. It's all organic and non-GMO. Get rid of ugh. We have so many great supplements, but our super tea is number one. GetTheT.com. That's GetTheT.com.
So, you love talk radio? Then you'll love TalkStreamLive.com. TalkStream Live is always on, 24/7 with the best streaming talk shows. Find your favorite talkers and discover some new ones. It's free, readily available online or on mobile with any smartphone or tablet. Finding your favorite talk shows all in one place has gotten a whole lot easier. Just go to TalkStreamLive.com. Be sure to download the free apps from Google Play or the iTunes App Store.
When you take the beans from Central America with dashes of Indonesian and African mixed in and then roast it to the dark side of fade to black, you create the ultimate brew of fringe. Introducing the Fade to Black blend from River Moon Coffee. Yes, River Moon's darkest customized roast was created for the love of Fade to Black. The alchemy of masterful roasting and smoking the beans is in every sip of this full-bodied, dark Java. I need my coffee dark, deep, with distinct bittersweet chocolate highlights, just like the bunker. Leaning further into the darkness of the roast is Fade to Black blend from River Moon Coffee. Just click on the banner at jimmychurchradio.com and use the promo code F2BBLEND for 15% off of your order today. Go Beckley Tepe.
I'm Matt Ray with America's First News. We all know if you're planning a trip, you should shop and compare, right? But why endlessly search the web when you don't have to? Flight Services helps you find the lowest possible airfare. Talk directly to a travel pro right now for the best deals available. Their travel pros have additional discounts not found on websites, and Flight Services provides 24-hour customer service. Call toll-free 844-845-9944. That's 844-845-9944.
What's up, Fadernauts? Studio Dome loves Fade to Black and the F2B audience so much that they have put together the ultimate stereo Bluetooth system. They've done it just for you. Man, check this out. The Studio Dome SBB2 stereo system is here. It's featuring two Studio Boombox 2 SBB2 wireless Bluetooth speakers, packed in its own custom hard shell case. This Studio Dome system features the very latest in stereo Bluetooth technology. The two full-range boomboxes are in true wireless stereo. You've got to hear this. It's amazing. It's just $129, and use the promo code JCRTWS, and you'll also get free shipping. It's simple. Just go to jimmychurchradio.com, click on the Studio Dome banner. Go Beckley Tepe.
Erica, Brittany, Gabby, and you're listening to JimmyChurchRadio.com.
It's not a lifestyle we chose. We were born this way. KGRARadio.com.
This is KJCR at JimmyChurchRadio.com.
Welcome back, Fade to Black. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. Renee just sent me this about Social Security numbers. And apparently there are just 21,891 pairs of Social Security numbers that have the same name, date of birth, place of birth, and parents' names. Interesting. That is so. It is very, very rare. It breaks down further from there. But I'll just start at the top. 21,891 pairs of Social Security numbers that have been assigned to one individual. Wow, that's interesting. So that's you're in rarefied air out there, Motorhead. If that is indeed the case, not that many are running around with two pairs of two Social Security numbers for one individual. Now, back to, in a room of 23 people, there's a better than 50% chance that two people have the same birth date. It's called the birthday paradox. If two people are in a room together, then there is a 364 out of 365 chance that they do not have the same birthday. Now, if you ignore leap years and other things, okay, 364 days, 365 days. If there are three people in a room, then the probability that they have different birthdays is 364, 365 times 363 times 365. Now, continuing in this fashion, once you hit 23 people in the room, the probability that all 23 have different birthdays drops below 50%. So The probability that at least 2 have the same birthday is better than even. It's called the birthday paradox. How interesting. 23 people in the room, 50-50 chance, better than 50-50 chance. Vegas wouldn't even take those odds. Think about it. The house would always lose. That is an interesting fact right there. All right. Also, Bangladesh does have a larger population than Russia. Bangladesh is 163 million people. The population of Russia, 144.3 million people. Just trying to get caught up on this. Now, Oxford University is older than the Aztec Empire. Oh, yes, it is. Now, if you think about it like this, it's actually very simple. The Aztec Empire was founded in 1428. Oxford University was founded in 1096. It's way older than the Aztec Empire. Now, going back to Harvard being founded before calculus was created. Well, certain types of mathematics were called calculus as far back as the Egyptians. But calculus, as we know it today, was established by Gottfried Leibniz and Isaac Newton, each independently in the late 17th century. Harvard University was founded in 1636. So therefore, calculus, as we know it today, by Newton and Leibniz, if you think about it in those terms, Harvard is older than calculus. Very interesting, huh? All right. I've got a bunch more, too, as well. But the Betty White, that's a pretty trippy fact right there. Also, okay, I'm going to hit you with this before I've got to go back and finish up Yellowstone. But there is a banyan tree in India that is bigger than the average Walmart. One single tree. Now, think about what I just said. This tree, this banyan tree, is larger than the average Walmart. Now, the fact is true. The average Walmart store covers about 104,000 square feet. The great banyan tree in India is about the size of a forest, covering 155,000 square feet. One single tree. And that is a fact. All right. Going back to Yellowstone and talking about NASA and NASA's ideas about preventing an eruption there. Is it a high volcanic threat? Not as much as other volcanoes in the United States, and I just talked about this. However, it has produced some really massive eruptions in its history, 3 times in its history, dating back to 2.1 million years ago. There have also been several more small eruptions over that time period, which is more typical of activity at the Restless site there in Yellowstone. Basalt lava flows and domes have occurred frequently, and the most recent activity at the Yellowstone caldera was relatively small, about 70,000 years ago. Those big eruptions, the Lava Creek eruption at 640,000 years ago, the Mesa Falls eruption 1.3 million years ago, and the Huckleberry Ridge eruption, which was 2.1 million years ago, were all huge. The Huckleberry Ridge was the largest of the 3 eruptions, producing over, check this out, 2,400 cubic kilometers of volcanic debris. Now, this spread over all of North America. Now, how big is 2,400 cubic kilometers, you may ask? You probably never even heard of a cubic kilometer. 2,400 cubic kilometers is about the same thing as filling and emptying Lake Erie 5 times. 5. Now, there are no signs right now that Yellowstone could be heading towards any sort of gigantic eruption. In fact, there was a little signs of anything happening anytime soon. So why is NASA worried? I'm not sure. But there is nothing they can do about it. There is nothing, seriously, nothing. You can't do anything. At least with our current technology, there's nothing that can be done. However, being scientists, they've speculated and considered releasing pressure and cooling the magma. Now, that's not science to me. That is science fiction. The magma at Yellowstone is stored at depths of at least 5 miles. Now, if you want to drill that far down and into it to release pressure or pump water into it, you would need to drill at least that deep. And right now, our deepest drill holes just barely make it to 5 miles with holes that are less than a foot. Okay? So, to a magma body holding thousands of cubic kilometers of magma, think about it. That's just a little pinprick, a little 1 foot hole. And we're talking about the size of Lake Erie drained 5 times. We aren't even close to that kind of technology. And to do this easily in a volcanically unstable area is just a bad idea. Have you ever had a hot pan of oil on your stove, right? I mean, just hot. And you dropped a drop of water in there. You know what happens. So you want to just, right? It explodes. So you want to try injecting cold water down a pipe into magma. What are you asking for? It just sounds like a bad idea. A massive eruption would have profound climate effects for decades, and we know this, but there are no identified mass extinctions related to giant Yellowstone eruptions. Even during the Toba eruption in Indonesia, that was 74,000 years ago, the last truly massive eruption, humans survived. Humans survived not only locally, but they survived the global impacts of that blast too as well. Now, to be sure, if Yellowstone erupts, it would be absolutely crazy. But going to the extremes of drilling down and injecting water into it and the expense and everything that would be involved there, I think there should be some preventative measures going on. Like, I don't know, seed banks, right? Shelters, something to escape the mass amount of ejection that would happen there too as well, because it would cover the entire country. So I think we should focus on that instead of trying to cool this magma down. That's just me. But second, the volume of water needed to cool such a large magma body would be ginormous. And I have to ask you, where would the water come from? Literally. You would need to pump the volume of a Great Lake, one of them, into the system to even make any kind of dent. It just doesn't make any sense. I don't know why the scientists there are seriously contemplating this. And, again, science fiction and a resource and possibility, yes, absolutely. But what water and from where? And the trippy part is it seems to be some kind of mind play on the population. We're talking about asteroids and nuclear missiles being fired out to blow something out. That we're working on that, and we're looking at the technology to prevent some type of cosmic event happening here, right? Okay, and I get all of that. And again, movies have been made about this subject. But causing this kind of fear porn, we know that if we just look at the math and we contemplate what would happen if Yellowstone did erupt, yes, it would be crazy. And that's pumping this kind of fear porn into the country. It's some kind of mind play. That's the only thing I can think of here, because the scientific side of it what actually needs to come into play and how deep it is and how large it is, we don't have that kind of technology. We don't. And I don't know if we would have it in 100 years or 200 years. And quite simply, how would the drilling happen? How much of the drilling would happen? And how much water are you really going to pump down there? And to me, if you did do that little drop in the oil in your pan, that I think you would cause an eruption more than you would prevent an eruption. And this is just me, but I just find the whole thing completely fascinating. And I read through it all today, and the more that I looked at the stats and the odds of something happening, there have been 3 very large events that have happened at Yellowstone. But there's nothing predictable out of those 3 events. You can't triangulate anything out of that information. There's nothing that says out of those 3 events that something's going to happen this year, in the next 100 years, in the next 10,000 years. There isn't anything consistent in those 3 massive eruptions that have happened at Yellowstone. And I've looked at it, and I've tried to figure out the numbers and trying to figure out something consistent, and there isn't anything there. It quite simply doesn't exist. So why create this fear that we need to go and cool this magma down, and we need to do this, and we need to drill down 5 miles? That is the extreme end of our technology today. The extreme end. There's no way to get to it. It's a pretty interesting thing for NASA and their scientists to go and propose all of the and seriously, apparently seriously contemplate some of these solutions to Yellowstone when there isn't any reason to do it to begin with. It's fascinating. Absolutely fascinating. All right. 323-825-5045, 323-275-9695. And I've got enough time for maybe 2 more phone calls, and we'll do that next. And I wanted to go. Okay, so here's another fact, and I have stated something similar to this in the past, but it's pretty fascinating to think about it in these terms. Cleopatra lived closer to the time Pizza Hut was founded than when the Great Pyramid was built. Think about that for a second. Now, I've used something similar to this when I've talked about dating, the dating of the age of Egypt, because Egypt is, if we go with the Orthodox historians out there, goes back to 3100 BC. Okay, so from where Cleopatra is more of a relative to us today than ancient Egypt by more than 1,000 years. So when you look at it in these terms, Cleopatra lived closer to the time Pizza Hut was founded than to when the Egyptian pyramids were built. You have to look at it in these terms. The Great Pyramid was built sometime around 2600 to 2500 BC, right? Cleopatra died in 30 BC. So there's a gap of more than 2,400 years. Therefore, Pizza Hut, which was founded in 1958, is only 2,000 years from Cleopatra's life. That's how old. So this is a great fact, and it would stump a lot of people. Absolutely. They would have a hard time digesting that. But if you think about it, that's how old Egypt really is. Egypt is bleeping old. The Egyptians themselves, it is so old that the Egyptians themselves don't know where they came from. And that's the truth. They have no clue. And by the time the Greeks and the Romans came into Egypt and took things over, nobody in Egypt at that point knew anything about their own history. It's that old. It is that old. It's mind-blowing when you think about it. All right. Let's see here. Here's another fact that I had to go back, and I've heard this many times. And I'm gonna watch Twitter as I talk about this. honey never expires. Ever. Right? Okay, that's a pretty bold statement. Honey has a perfect chemical composition that makes it never spoil. Organisms can't live inside of honey, meaning there's nothing that can spoil honey in the first place. Now, apparently, 5,000-year-old honey has been found and is perfectly edible. And that's one of those things. If anybody asked you about this in the future, then you have the answer right here and right now, and you've heard it on Fade to Black. Honey never spoils. Ever. That's crazy, right? And I've often thought, when you see honey that you've had on your shelf and it's get that crystallization, and you throw it away. What are you doing throwing? Honey can never spoil. Honey can never spoil. Okay. There are baby carrot farms. Baby carrots. The baby carrots. There are baby carrot farms. Are there? There are not. There are no baby carrot farms. Baby carrots were invented in 1986. That's right. Baby carrots were invented in 1986. And baby carrots are not actually baby carrots. No. They are cut from larger carrots. That's all they are. And most people don't know this. They actually think that baby carrots are baby carrots. No. That it was a way to take misshapen carrots back in the old days, in 1986, and save them from waste. So they would cut the baby carrots out of the bigger carrots, put them in bags, sold them in supermarkets, and by the early 1990s, they became the phenomenon that they are now. There are no baby carrot farms. And I don't want to bum you out, but you probably thought that there were baby carrot farms. But nope. They're just cut from bigger carrots. Hey, Eric, how you doing? Eric. Okay.
Jimmy?
Yes.
This isn't Eric.
Who is this?
This is Scott.
Oh, hey, Scott. Wow, you popped up with another name.
That is weird.
Yeah, so that's why you didn't answer me, because you knew you weren't Eric.
Right.
Yeah, very interesting. How you doing tonight?
I'm doing good. Hey, Jimmy, you and I talked a couple nights ago about Hollywood decoding.
Uh-huh.
And we were talking about Peter Lauer and the UFOs over Topanga. Do you remember that conversation?
I do.
So he says the reason why it was because it was over the Battle of L.A. and they didn't want to revisit it. And then I was like, what is the battle over L.A.?
Right.
I don't know what it is. What was it?
The battle over Los Angeles, which happened just after Japan had entered into World War II. And what had happened was, I don't remember the exact dates, but I think it was, for some reason, February 24th, 1942, I think is the date there. Hold on here. The Battle of Los Angeles. Let's just go here. Boom. And I'll get the dates right here. Oh, no. Let's see here. Yeah, I was right. February 24th and 25th, 1942. So what had happened was, in the photographs, if you go and you look it up and you look at the front page of the LA Times, they have the classic picture of the object that was over Los Angeles, off the coast of Santa Monica. And at that time, we were fearing an invasion on the West Coast from Japan. So there were artillery batteries, anti-aircraft batteries that were all the way up and down the coast of California, from Santa Barbara all the way down to San Diego. Okay, huge batteries of installations. And so this object showed up in the night sky. They illuminated it with searchlights. If depending on what photograph that you get, what version of it that you get, it looks to be some type of saucer-shaped craft. But I've also thought from different shots that it looked a little angular to me. Well, anyway, they shot about, I want to say like over 1,000 rounds of anti-aircraft fire at this thing. And they shot at it, and it slowly moved down the coast and went towards, I'm reading here, 1,400 anti-aircraft shells were fired, 50 caliber machine guns, 12.8 pound anti-aircraft shells. And they shot this thing, shot at it from 3:16 a.m. to 7:21 a.m. in the morning. So they shot at this thing for about 4 hours. It never came down. There are some stories. Yeah, there are some stories that it did come down, that they did capture the craft, and others say that they didn't. But it was totally illuminated all night by searchlights, and it was photographed and shot at. But it never. Now, if it was some kind of balloon or a dirigible or some kind of craft by the Japanese, which some suspected, it would have been shot out of the sky many times. But it never did. It was never brought down, at least officially. But it did. It moved down the coast. It went down the coast, went past the airport, and continued down, and they shot at it all night long. And there you go. That is the famous Battle of Los Angeles.
So does that make any sense to you? I don't get it. And why would they tell him to stop writing the script if they don't want to read it?
I don't know. You have the connection there. I would continue to.
I'll find out. I'll find out a little bit more with that. I just find it so bizarre.
It really happened. See, that's the other thing. This really happened.
Why didn't they bring it down? 1,000 rounds? You think you'd bring it down by then, right?
Well, you can go and see. This is the thing. You can go and read the original article in the LA Times and look at all the photographs that they have there. All very interesting. You can definitely Google images of it, and you can. I'm sure there's a Wikipedia page, and you can go and read about it. It's so documented. So is there a question of the event actually happened? No, it really happened. What it was that they were shooting at, nobody knows. At least not officially. So there you go.
Have you ever been up on Dirt Mulholland here? Because we go down there, we got the Nike missile site.
Oh, yeah.
They had these.
Yeah, I've done it many times. It was one of our funnest thing to do in the 80s was go up there and drink beer. So there you go. All right, Scott, I got to roll credits and get out of here, my brother. Go do your studying and get back to me.
Thank you, sir. Take care.
All right, Scott. Great phone call. It really happened. The Battle of Los Angeles. All right, that wraps another episode of Fade to Black, and another Fadernight is in the can. Fade to Black's executive producer is Rita Kamarian. Show is produced by Hilton J. Paul, Mark D. Kovar, LJ3, Renee Jonas. Thank you, Dennis. Thank you, Bob. Announcers are Steve Harder, Gene Vitoa, Mark D. Kovar. Fady by Dale. Webmaster is Drew the Geek. Music, Doug Aldrich. Intro, Spaceboy, spaceboymusic.com. Fade to Black is produced by KJCR for the Game Changer Network, and syndication is KGRA, The Planet. Thank you to Jon Rappoport and everybody that called and tweeted in tonight. This broadcast is owned and copyrighted 2017 by Fade to Black and the Game Changer Network. It cannot be rebroadcast, downloaded, copied, or used anywhere in the known universe without written permission from Fade to Black or the Game Changer Network. Until, I don't know, man, should we take Monday off? It's Labor Day. We'll find out over the weekend. But until then, everybody be safe. Enjoy your weekend. Have fun. Be safe. Go Beckley Tepe.